G'day, citizens. Welcome to the Inforunners. I'm joined by voices in the void of Space Tomato and AstroPub. How are you boys doing?
Hello.
Hello, doing good.
We couldn't get everyone else because it was a shit time, but they're with us in spirit. But it's all right. We're going to get on with it today and start with Aegis. So we're doing the Teirlist show if you haven't figured it out. Some of the ships are, as you can see there, Paul has drawn us the Tiburon. Grim couldn't make it today. He's we wish him well. We won't share his private stuff, but he's currently not having a good time. So yeah, our thoughts go out to Grim. I'm going to hide myself here. Argrid it's currently 5 o'clock in the morning. Argrid's got to go off to school or work, so he's not going to be here. And that's about it. Right. Where do you guys want to start with Aegis? Where are we going?
We'll start. Tiburon's looking pretty good.
We'll start at Tiburon. Why not? Yeah, since he's done such a good job, we'll start on the Tiburon.
You love my artistic skills. Yep. I should have been an artist.
I'm just saying, when we get the Thule, I'm drawing the Thule. Right. All right. Next one.
We gotta wait for that one. Yeah.
Right. Space. I'll let you take this one because I think I know where Paul and I sit pretty clearly. So we'll start with you, man. So.
Oh boy. Man, I didn't even think about this. I think the Tiburon is a weird ship because it's I think it's actually a pretty good ship, but the design of it kind of annoys me because it's made to be a good ship. I actually think this thing is pretty fun if you've got 3 people because the forward cannons, as you can see, this beautiful forward cannon here. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that's the laser. These beautiful forward cannons here, they do offer some pretty good entertainment for the guys in the turrets. And I'm going to be honest, power is one thing, fun is another. And this ship actually can be pretty fun for the gunners compared to the Hammerhead because you can do some solid damage on small ships. You can also do probably some interesting damage to larger ships, especially when we start to get things like shield emitters on the outside of them. And my least favorite thing about this ship is the laser because that thing is
really,
I don't know. I just not a big fan of laser weapons, I guess, which I know is blasphemy, but it feels
well. Go ahead.
I don't want to say uninspired, but
it feels cheap.
It's kind of boring for me.
What you're looking for is cheap.
I will say my personal reason. What grade would you give it? S through F.
Probably a B minus.
Okay.
Right in between.
See, because the thing is that I enjoy the Tib for what it is, and a lot of the problems that the Tib has is bugs.
Yeah.
And I have seen the Tiburon being used with a small crew and in coordination with other ships with lots of different things. Like we used it during our Idris fight battles against, or the battle against Xenothreats Idris recently. And it strips armor really well. It's just only good for stripping armor, that laser is. And those guns can do a nice 1-2 punch for like backup smashing through armor and interior. It's just the bugs that it has in terms of like targeting and all the other problems that it comes with it is the reason why it's bad. So like I wouldn't suggest, I can't really like say go get it. Even if it was just available in the bursary to buy, I'd be like, you'd really need a very specific thing. But for its very specific role, it does average, which is why it's above average, SAP.
I can't say I remember all my experiences with it, but I do remember getting a lot of good times and fun out of it. I just think the way that it was introduced kind of makes it a little bit not as hype for me.
I think the only thing I can add is all the problems that this ship had are basically inherited by this one. So this has some. We can move on to the Hammerhead, but basically the Hammerhead has bad design, and the bad design in the Hammerhead was literally given to the Tiburon with no changes or fixes, basically, and that's what annoys me the most about it. You had a chance to kind of fix them, and they didn't. It's that simple.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't like that it carried over the exact same interior. The fact that the Hammerhead has a second deck, I bet a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Because it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's just the interior space was the first large combat ship that come out. So it had a lot of issues, if you know what I mean. And as more ships have come out, it has the problem of like, because it's been coming out later, it is being degraded. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like how like the 300i was a really good fighter until the Gladius came around. And then the 300 becomes like a little bit less, or especially the 325 becomes less viable and normal. The Hammerhead is the same problem. It is a great NPC ship. It's a great ship to fight against in the verse, against NPCs who are fully crewing it. But its crew size, its weird layout, its like really anemic platform for what it's supposed to do. I just don't see it as a good ship. It is a ship that needs to get either drastically overhauled or retired, and neither of those things are going to happen.
I still think it's in a better position than the Tiburon, to be honest. The Tiburon really well, as the Tiburon is a fleet ship, and it requires other ships to be with it. Ironically, the Hammerhead is a really good. They're really well designed to work together, because the weakness of one is covered by the other. If you think about it, so the Tiburon's weak to fighters. The Hammerhead is weak to bigger ships because it can't shoot them because it's only got size 4 guns. So you put them together and they cover each other. Weird thing. They are really reliant on another ship in certain situations. But realistically, what would you rather be weak to? A big ship that there are less of, or heaps of small fighters? It's that simple. Well, and when you work that out, the Tiburon's instantly worse than the Hammerhead.
I feel like Tiburon does have a better time getting at the small fighters, though, than the Hammerhead does getting at larger ships if they need to. But they do both feel like fleet ships for sure.
Realistically, there's only one good turret on the Tiburon to take out small fighters, and it's at the back at the bottom. With the testing that I did with orgs and stuff, they all came back to me saying, "Oh, we almost died to a fighter," and this was against PvE and TSG. So you put that against a human, the human's instantly going to know to be above and behind the ship and just stay away from that bottom back turret, and you can pick it off. If you hear meowing, I'm being surrounded by cat.
All right, we should probably keep moving.
Yeah,
though, because we've got a lot of ships.
Right, do we want to go up or down? Where do you want to go?
Let's go down.
I would say up. We gonna go down?
Yeah. All right, we're going down. All right, we'll go down. We'll go down. We've got the Firebird, the Peregrine, and the Raven. I do find it funny that the Sabres are now split off from the Saber Ravens on Grimm's sheet here. But anyway, geez, yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm going to be nice and... So I found out...
I'll be very quick.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be very quick with my opinion.
Go ahead.
Saber Raven is good because it's the only ship that does what it does, and we still haven't yet to get it outside of those special packs. The Peregrine, why do you exist? And Firebird is just a because it's lost its shtick of being super, super cancerous and toxic for being able to like launch tons of missiles and kill people instantly. It's become just a fighter version of the Miss, and the Miss has bigger missiles. So it's like, I don't know why you exist anymore, but you're not bad. You're just like a Talon with slightly more missiles. So sorry, that was it.
I was just going to talk about the Peregrine. I talked with EchoBit recently, who's really into the racing, and he's like, yeah, it's legit. Like, it is a legit racer. So that's why I've given it a C. Just because the racers really do like it, but it is a very expensive ship for what it is.
It's so big.
And it is fast.
Like for a racing ship, imagine needing to get a racing ship that's 26 meters long. What are you doing?
You're moving.
I don't know, man. That just seems huge to me.
But yeah,
And then it's as wide as it is long. Yeesh. Big profile.
again, it's like all these onboarding and variants. They're learning slow. I think the thing that kind of annoys me most about the whole variant thing over the last 2 years is it's just taken them so long to learn how to make these ships, and I don't understand why, because we've learned faster than they have. How the hell have they not learned? Anyway.
If they had started with this model, I think it would have probably been better.
Yeah, true. Anything you want to add, Space, or do you want to move on to the Sabres?
Nope, we can move on.
All right. Saber comment. Oh, he put skins in, but yeah, you can do the Saber comment if you want. Jeez, that's a big statement there, Space. Do you want to tell me how you feel about that?
I just think
back it up.
Thick as bro. It's honestly it. I love a medium fighter, but I don't think I've flown this thing since like 2019. I think the ship looks really cool, especially in the concept art. I'm not a combat pilot, but I do hope to get one of these someday, just to have it.
Wouldn't you've tried it on a free fly? Like, they give us ships as learners on free flies, and the Sabres are pretty regular.
I'd never really get to actually rent the ships on free flies.
No.
I'm not a pilot, man.
If you don't know, as a content creator, they give us learners.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
But I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really care enough to go and fly this thing. Just like looking at it. This is the kind of ship that I am going to put in my garage on some moon base off in the distance, and I'll fly in every once in a while. And like, I don't know, I'll add a cool rare paint to it or something. I'm not going to use it.
Okay. The Vulcan. Unless you want to add anything, Paul. Vulcan.
I get associated with this all the time, because I still say it's going to be decent, but I will go give it a you know what, I'll put my money where my mouth is and give it an S.
Ooh. I was really sold on this by Badges, by the way. Badges really convinced me of its worth because he'd thought of things that I hadn't thought of, which is, again, one of the cool things about Inforunners when we talk to each other and we always learn things. And his idea was, because it's got drones, you land it behind a dune or behind some trees or something, and you send the drone in to like repair a tank, and you can get that tank out of there. You can salvage it and put it back into combat. And it was things like that started to change how I think. If you can get the drones to where they need to be repaired, well, the ship's never going to be in danger. And that is the plus of this ship, being able to get other people out of trouble.
One of the advantages of it as well is that it's the only drone ship we have. So when CIG starts to implement drone gameplay, the Vulcan will be the basis for it. So
the Crucible also has drones, by the way, and it's a repair as well.
It does, but it doesn't rely on the drones. The Vulcan relies on the drones. It's the only way it repairs, rearms, and refuels.
I'll give you that.
There is no other ship that has that. I mean, there are ships that have drones, like the Carrack has drones. Yeah. But the Vulcan
is fully
because
reliant.
It's a dedicated drone. Yeah. It will be the ship they use for testing drones.
Yeah.
And so it's likely going to grow and change a little bit when it gets to that point. And because it is the only thing, it's the only thing it does, it will thrive as sort of a remote. It'll be broken when it first comes out. And I think it'll take a while for it to get balanced because of that nature. You can just like park a certain mile away, like several kilometers away, and turn all your engines off. So you're basically invisible and send in drones to do these things for you. So you're never in danger, which is a different approach to you have to be next to the person to refuel their ship or to be land on their ship to rearm and that kind of stuff.
I bet you this thing will put out a signature though. If you have to run the drones, you probably have to put out a signature.
True.
Like a power signature.
True.
But
people will find a way to breaking it. You know that.
I've definitely come to terms with the fact that when this ship gets delivered, it will be changed because for the two reasons you said. I mean, this was made a while ago. This is like CIG figuring out the game before they figured out the game. And you can repair, refuel, and rearm from this thing. But the drones fit into it in such a way that, like, looking at what they're doing now with the Starlancer build and the kind of stuff they've talked about, I bet this thing changes quite a bit in its looks. But man, this is going to be a powerhouse of a ship.
So just for your benefit, Space, I just Googled it. February 21st, 2018, this was announced. Yeah.
Man, I thought it was a
that's
little
a while
bit
ago.
earlier.
That's 8 years ago, man.
Wait,
We're getting
yeah,
old.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
I have been excited for this ship ever since they announced it too. Like it's one of those ones that's like, oh, that's Aegis. Okay, sure.
It looks more Amble to me, but it changed it. But yeah. Well, that's what the Terrapin was originally. Terrapin was originally Aegis, and it got moved to Anvil. So, yeah. Eclipse. You guys would be so kind. You guys are being generous. It. I'll up it by 1 now, and now I can't draw for some reason. What the hell's going on? There we go.
Disqualified.
Wow, you're gonna give it a D.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a D. Look, this thing is so expensive for what it does.
True.
And that's what I always take price into a factor, right? And considering the Retaliator is essentially the same price, if not cheaper, if you buy it without the modules, and it also does 5 people, and this only does 1. Like, obviously, you're paying for the compacts and the technology of it and all that, but as more and more bombers have come into the game, it is so grossly, clearly overpriced. Like, considering other Aegis ships like the Vanguard Harbinger is also a torpedo bomber, and it actually costs less. You know, like just little things like that. Like it is clearly was hyped.
My argument is it's size 9 torpedoes, so it holds the same as the Retaliator, and it's a stealth fighter, a stealth bomber. It is, and it's legitimately stealth bomb.
It is.
So it's got a very specific use, and it's the only thing that does it, which is why I gave it a B.
Yep.
It's also cool, but
yeah, it feels like a pretty valuable player in an arsenal if you're like part of a group that has a large mobile base. This is a bomber that I guess they've made it. I mean, they made the wings able to fold so that I could fit into spaces, but the way that things have maybe not been as consistent when it comes to size metrics over the years, I'm not sure how effective that is. But if you can have one of these in the back of your Idris along with your fighter group, this could be really valuable in a pinch.
Well, with holes in the wings, we know that means it's getting a variant sometime soon. Right. I was going to say, we've got a mutual friend too, Paul, that has way too many of these. I think he's got like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, he loves those though.
He's crazy. Right, the Avengers symbol. I'm probably just going to give these guys a flat score because they've got... Oh, wait, the Warlock.
I mean, I can explain my Warlock real quick.
Yeah, go.
Why I gave it an S.
Feel.
It has the largest EMP. It has the largest range. Its EMP is insane. It's like double that of all the other EMPs out there.
I gave an A because I think it's dropped a little bit on just with newer things that have come along.
Oh, the Titan?
Yeah. Things like the Cutter once it came along, just the newer starter ships are just a breath of fresh air. And let's be honest, this thing is held its own for such a long time, but eventually it had to fall a little bit, and it is falling just a little. And as for the Warlock, as for the Warlock, I'm kind of with Space. It's just it only does one thing, and that's all it does. But yes, there's not many things that can do what it does, but it's just meh.
Yeah, I think for the Warlock, I think it's kind of funny because this is already upsized from what the Avenger originally was. But I think both the Warlock and the Stalker, I would want to see larger for what they're supposed to do, to be better. Because both of those types of gameplay have kind of changed in what I'm thinking they're going to be in the game.
I'd really like to see it as a module, quite honestly, because it like having a whole ship dedicated around just an EMP is a bit insane to me. And again, if it was just a module that you could put in the back, I think it would be a better gameplay change. But hey, I'm not the designer.
That's basically what the Stalker is as well. It's just pods you slip into the Titan.
It literally is the Titan now. They are exactly the same price. They used to be different prices. They're now exactly the same because they are the same ship, basically.
That's why I gave it a C. The Stalker is meant to be a bounty hunting ship for a game where bounty hunting required special pods, but as we've seen with the Hawk, that's changing. They're going to basically allow us to probably store.
That's why I gave it the same score, because they are in game exactly the same ship now. You've actually given one ship a C and one ship an S, but they're the same ship.
So you can take
that's the reason.
No, if you pull out the Stalker right now, it essentially has it's an empty cargo bay, just like the other one. The only difference is it has like distortion guns on it instead of other guns. So the guns change, but the interior is exactly the same.
Huh. Well, that makes it hard, but I'm gonna judge it by like the way that I guess they had it for us.
Yeah,
because I don't.
It was like that at Invictus or at DefenseCon. So like I don't know what had changed from that.
Yeah.
So are they just gonna give everybody who had a Stalker the Titan?
Yeah, basically, because previously bounty hunting was like going to require these special pods. Now the pods are just cargo.
Yeah, so, the pods. I think they're still going to do that with like the Blue though, because the Blue has a special holder that doesn't take up the cargo space. So I think
it'll be better if they don't, because then it just makes it a better version of the Cutlass Black. But we'll see.
Obviously. They would, but that's the problem. Is that makes it a better version of the Cutlass Black.
Right, the Gladius or the Gladii as we've got here. But I'm just going to.
It's all the same, basically.
Yeah. I'm just going to give one score. So, I think it's probably this. And you guys are on S trips today. Holy shit.
What is the difference between these?
Skins and layouts.
Skins and loadouts. The Pirate Gladius and the Gladius have the exact same loadout, just different skins. Yeah. And the Valiant is got a different loadout.
Yep. Is there anyone add anything? It's the kind of hallmark of Squadron 42. I think that's about, it's going to be this little rounder.
That's the reason I gave it an S, is because it is the hero ship for Squadron. So if there's one ship that's going to get a lot of attention and love between now and next year, it's going to be the Gladius. So, and the Pirate Gladius is the Pirate Gladius is just the same Gladius with skin. I gave the Valiant a C because it's super expensive in comparison to the regular Gladius, and all it is a skin and a like weapons upgrade. That's all it is. There's no differences between it.
Yeah, weapon upgrades are basically useless now because you can earn all the guns in game, and so really you're just paying extra for nothing. And the skin is just a skin. And look at the difference between the skin; there's almost nothing.
Well, that's not happy.
Yeah. So yeah, those ones need to seriously be updated and just made like into a skin for $5. They need to go back. Like again. You know this about marketing, Paul. Like you kind of need price adjustments over time. Yeah, they need to go back in and essentially readjust some of those older things to be cheaper.
The problem is that CIG doesn't like to drop prices, because then people will demand refunds and why did I spend so much money on this when it's now blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So
which is
they'll have to throw something in there. So
yeah, they'll have to do something to make it worth it. Right. The Vanguards. Man,
I can never remember the freaking Vanguard series.
Harbinger's the bomber, Hoplite's the personnel carrier, Sentinel is the EM warfare ship, and the Warden is the fighter.
Okay. I still don't know enough about these ships, really.
You put questions on them if you don't have it.
Yeah, feel free to ask. Well, again, there's always someone out there that's going to be in the same boat as you, Space. So.
Especially the Vanguard. So many people don't even know what these ships are. Probably haven't seen them beyond fighting them, maybe.
Well, when do you reckon is the last time anyone saw a Hoplite in game?
Oh, yeah.
Like, never. I think you guys have been really generous with the Hoplite. Yeah. I know a couple of people that own it, but it's going to be one of the rarest.
The reason why I gave it
that's a drop ship, huh?
They essentially got the guy from the Four Horsemen to convert the Warden after he made it into a dropship. It didn't work, so they went off and redesigned it and made the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And so it basically is, it's completely one of those ships me and Paul about recently about the abandoning of ships. And this is one of the ones that the very first ones that was ever abandoned. It is clearly gonna, like, they'll don't get me wrong, they'll get it to work, but it's never gonna have the love that it needed, so to speak.
No. I gave it a C because C in my mind is average. And so, like, it's an average dropship. It's not a good dropship. It's not a terrible dropship. It still has, weapons racks, seats to sit in. But it's an average dropship. It's like a little bit worse than a Legionnaire as a dropship. The Legionnaire's not built as a dropship.
It's like the TAC as it's an extreme long range dropship is what it is.
Yes.
Right. So and it's got redundancy. So if you've got, when you got to go long range and you're under attack and you got to drop people off, this is the ship you take. But again, you could also take the Starlance attack. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any really outliers there. I know I really like the Sentinel. I think that it's the only warfare ship we've got in the game. So this kind of coming back to where we were talking about, the only thing that it does type of thing. The Sentinel's the only one that does that. It's the only ship in the game. And so that's why it gets a higher score from me than the others. So yeah.
I like the Harbinger best because it's one of the few ships that actually has size 5 torps other than the Gladiator. And it has much better firepower than the Gladiator. So it's like if you like the Gladiator, but you want more firepower, the Harbinger is pretty good.
It's also got that distance too. Like the Gladiator is a carrier bomber. This is a long range bomber. So if you've got to get a target that really far away.
The one thing I will say that the Vanguard has, if CIG actually decides to give it some love, is that because CIG seems to have finally mastered external modules, like they did with the Aurora Mark II. The battlefield upgrade kits, which are basically where you can take a Harbinger and turn it into a Warden and turn it into a Hoplite. Well, I think the Hoplite was the only one that's excluded from that. So it was like you can take a Warden and turn it into a Sentinel and turn it into a Harbinger to turn it into a Warden, and so on, back and forth. That just those middle sections you can swap out. If they may actually be able to get those to work. And if they got those to work, then one Vanguard plus those battlefield upgrade kits will absolutely
I think eventually they probably will fold the Hoplite into that just because it would be easy to do so. And then it also then makes it so that you do want to own the Harbinger because the Harbinger has extra armor over the other variants. So it would actually be the more hardy, but also it'll probably cost more to operate in atmosphere, as we've learned. So, yeah, there is still hope for the Vanguard series, and I do agree with you that it can be very interesting to watch that develop over time. The Retaliator.
Ooh.
God, you guys both went to B's. Jeez. I think I've kind of got.
I was trying to beat him.
I think I'll do the same because it isn't around about that spot.
It's good. It's a good ship. I wouldn't choose it myself, and it's got some interesting add-ons, and we'll see more modules in the future. But it's just good. But for its size, the number of crew it requires, it's just kind of insane because its main advantage is it can hold a ton of size 9 torpedoes.
Yeah, so that's what holds it back is the crew count, but you can't argue with its price. You really can't.
Yeah.
It's very cheap for what it is. All right, go ahead.
I have the opposite. No, you're good. I have the opposite problem with this that I have with the Perseus. Whenever I see the Perseus, or I guess think of it as being bigger than it is. This ship, I always think it's smaller. Like I'm always blown away that this thing is 70 meters freaking long. Cause like I think of this in the same category. You're going to think this is crazy, but I genuinely think of this in the same category as the Vanguard. From like back in the day when I was first learning about these ships, I always thought these were similar in size, and I'm blown away by how big the Tally is. I also think it's freaking ugly as piss. Oh my God.
I would like to I would like to see another ship with the ugly VTOLs that this thing has. I think it would be cool to see Aegis do another one that has them, because they are pretty unique.
This is the opposite problem of the Gladius, though.
Yeah.
The Gladius was built for Squadron 42, and so it became the hero ship. The Retaliator was also built for Squadron 42, but it was never be a player flyable ship. So they just sort of like made it and then dropped it. So the ships that got all the love were the ships that are going to be like hero ships or actively like shown off in Squadron, like the Hornet. And so the Retaliator, which as far as I know, doesn't show up much at all in the game, it's just sort of been like, we're done, here you go, and not been touched since then.
Yeah, I think
so. It's got that like it won't be changed until same with the Reclaimer. It's like won't be changed until after Squadron, because like they can't really change it when they have when it's in Squadron ship itself.
It's in Squadron Cinematic. It's the ship that fires the torpedoes at the King ship. So
they got the King ship.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
But it's not player flyable. So
all right, Space. Tell me about the Reclaimer and what's your favorite ship?
The Reclaimer. Well, back in the day, this was one of the best multi-crew, multi-purpose ships. You could take bounties. You could pretend to go salvage stuff. You could land on top of other ships and blow them up. This ship's complicated now. This is like...
Do you remember when we went out with Morph and I said, Morph, you need to take out the Reclaimer with 2 other people? It's like a godly turret gunner battle bus. And he didn't believe me. And then 2 years later, he took it out and he went, oh, this is amazing. And then they saw him in a stream and then instantly nerfed it.
Yeah.
This is, not to sound pretentious, but culture-wise, this is an S. You know, like just a good ship to be on board. It looks incredible. It's got the Nostromo vibes and like it's just dripping with atmosphere. But man, for the game that we are playing now, it is not designed, and that really hurts it. And I know they're gonna probably try and remedy it someday, but that really drags it down. It's the only ship that can do what it does in the game, but it's not because it can't take advantage of its size.
They'll definitely do.
That's why I give it a C.
They'll definitely do variants of this when they rework it. And I would love to see them take the look of this and put it into other ships as well. I've often joked it would be cool if they had a starter ship called like the Ant, because you know it kind of sits like an insect. So Aegis doesn't have they have the Avenger, but they don't have the one below that. And I'd like to see that be more industry focused and kind of use the tech that was used. Because you look at that landing gear, it has some of the most complicated landing gear in the entire game. And not to reutilize, not to reutilize that would be crazy to me. And so, you know, redo a ship that can essentially use the same tech would be really cool to me.
The reason why I gave it a C is because its interior is fine, but its design is ancient. It is the problem with CIG right now, is that there are many ships like the Reclaimer, like the Starfarer, like the Freelancer, where like the Freelancer gets away with it because it's still actually kind of valuable in terms of its size. It sort of gets away with it by being smaller than it should be. But the Reclaimer's problem is that it is fundamentally built for Squadron. You know, it's in Squadron. We've seen it in the trailers. So it's a set piece ship that doesn't really have a that they built before they knew what salvaging was going to be. And after they figured out what salvaging was going to be, it's like, this ship is way too big for what it actually is capable of doing.
Yeah, look, for me,
it's
the potential. I can see where it's going to go eventually. So, yeah, sorry, Space, you were going to say?
I was just going to say, people will always hate what happened with the Claw. I do think that there's going to be some changes to how fracturing works with Maelstrom.
Yep.
But I don't think that the Claw is going to be used for how they've always made it look. And then there's also this, like, I know we're going to have gravity control on our ships, but the whole docking collar on the ceiling thing, I just don't think really fits with the way that they want docking to work anymore.
That's one of the reasons it has to be reworked. That they're essentially gone, and a lot of the older ships that do have those vertical ones have to be redone because the reason they removed it is just AI. When you think about it, all the things AI has to do, like they had crawl spaces. The reason crawl spaces are gone because coding an AI to crawl around is insane. Because are
you saying they're gonna? Never mind. We'll talk about that when we get to the MSR.
Real simply, you can crouch down, right, and it's the same height as when you stand. But when you crawl, you lay down and you become longer. So think about all the things you've got to do with AI to get it to go around a doorway when you've essentially got 3 positions because you've got your hands, your body, and your legs, as opposed to just your feet when you stand up. Right. So when you think about it, it's so much more complicated to code an AI. And it's the same thing when you've got to go vertical and you've got to go up through a docking port because you're lying down when you fly through space. It's the same thing. So they've removed all that extra but superfluous things that you have to do for AI. That's why they've been removed. It's pretty simple when you work it out. Anyway, Paul's favorite ship, the Redeemer. Oh, that's not an S. Oh, that. Wait, let me help you, Paul. That you need
E. Yes, E.
There we go. It's definitely a bit of place.
Can I go on my tirade about it? I'll go on my tirade about it.
You can go nuts.
Okay. So the problem with the Redeemer is that it was built to win a contest, not to be a Star Citizen. So it had a bunch of features on it that were designed to win the contest to try to get people interested in voting for them. And as a result, it's sort of a design to do everything, so it does nothing. And the only way CIG could fix the problem was by upping the guns and making them incredibly powerful. So like it's very obvious that CIG built the Paladin because the Redeemer sucked, got the Paladin out, and then nerfed the Redeemer. And everyone's like, oh, it's because they wanted to sell more Paladins. It's like, no, it's because they wanted to get rid of the freaking Redeemer because they were legally required to sell it and maintain it, but they're not going to actually deal with it because they don't care for it. And that's what makes me most mad about it, is that it's a ship that has some unique features in it that CIG just doesn't care about. Because they never really felt they had to do it, so they just kind of made it work. It's at the end of the day, the worst type of it's all of the worst parts of video gaming that I hate the most. It is designed by committee. It's designed to appeal to the most number of people. It has been maintained by minimum viable effort. And it has been effectively nerfed into the ground and become effectively useless for its role. Not effectively useless, but less useful for its role, simply because it's inconvenient for them to continue to have to fix it.
I do think it'll get a rework Mark II type of treatment eventually. It's the only way to kind of fix it at this point. But you are right. It was designed also, nobody knew what manufacturers were back then. So it just doesn't fit into the manufacturer's ethos, but I think it's totally redeemable. See what I did?
Get out. Leave.
All right, Space, where are we going next? I'll let you pick.
Let's do the Naughty Boy.
The Nautilus is
the same one, just skin. So.
Yeah, it's just a skin. So I just need the one.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize there was another. What is this?
Because Grim's obsessed with skins.
You had to get from the physical dinner that you had to pay to go to.
Yeah. Grim's obsessed with skins, so he put all the skins in, basically. This ship is not what you need to look at with this ship. This ship is what it does, and then you can leave the crew behind. So you can lay down mines and sensory turrets and, kind of set yourself up defenses in space and then move on. And it's the only ship that does what it does. We've said that a few times today, and it'll be a continual thing. But then you can move the crew into another ship for the fight. So it's like giving yourself extra advantages on defense. And that's its real strength, not the ship itself, what it gives you.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't deploy or get mines with any other ship in the game.
You can, but that takes longer and it's more risky. You don't have the drones that help you diffuse them and put them out and all that type. Well, it's not put out with drones, but the diffusal drones and stuff like that. It's custom built to do that job the best. Everyone else can do it too, but it's going to take a lot longer and if the mine goes off when you're trying to diffuse it behind the back of your ship, it's not going to be too good.
There you go.
Well, it's got the drones because the drones can go into the mine and diffuse the mine, and you don't have to put the ship at risk. But everyone can deploy mines. They just don't do it at its speed like this thing does. And I think with where the game is at the moment, they've realized that they probably needed to do bigger mines as well. Because again, these mines are like when it came out, we basically said, but these mines can't even take itself out. And that's a really good judge of kind of where a ship sits. And because those mines are made for fighters, well, what happens when you want to mine for a capital ship? Is that mine even going to do any damage to a capital ship? Probably not.
Gotta get those anti-cap mines,
Well, the Sentries only have size 2 turrets on them. Are they going to do any damage to a capital? Probably not.
Just got to slap a quantum drive on it.
Yeah.
They said specifically that those mines have the equivalent of a size 9 torpedo.
So no, they said size 5s. They were comparable to a size 5 torpedo, which makes them a fighter torpedo. And we were like,
I could have sworn they were.
They're probably going to have to up that now because we've power creeped a little bit since this thing came out.
That's what we're saying. Like me and Aaron have talked about it. Like, you need to make it so it can drop bigger mines, basically. It's. I think it was. I can't remember the number of mines, but it was something like 8 mines or something that it could do that were fighter size. We'll make it so it can do 2 capital size mines, or whatever, or
just increase the size, the damage of the mines,
or some. Yeah, once they work out how mines work, they basically need to re-put that back into Nautilus. It doesn't matter how they do it, but the Nautilus being the only ship that does mines. Does that also, you look at it and go, does that mean that we get another ship that can do mines? Are we going to get a capital ship that can do mines to kill other capitals? Is this just the first of a series of ships? So when you think of it like that, that's why the Nautilus drops back for me, because there's too many unknowns.
Yeah, it'd be crazy for them to make a whole feature like that and not make other ships with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to do it's like the Ranger. There's no way they just make one vehicle or one ship with that feature and then never use it again. They'll do it again. So
absolutely. All right, Space is having fun with circles. That's good to see.
He's making tomatoes. Okay, he's harvesting his tomato patch.
We're an army.
Okay. The javelin. Oof.
I'm gonna be mean, super mean.
I think I'll just give it an A. It's hard to give it a score when it's not out yet. That's the problem.
Well, that's the simple issue. That's the simple answer for me. We don't know what it is yet, so I'm going to give it an average for what it is, and because it's the only example of it. But like the question is really kind of like what is it? The Odin. Well, which is
go ahead.
Who is this for?
Well, it's the thing for me is they still, after all this time, haven't detailed out what the modular rooms are how they're gonna work. Because they really changed. Well, look at the Redeemer. The Redeemer's got modular rooms, and when you kind of work back that, like remove all the other problems, you kind of go, oh, that'd be nice things to know because that would really upsell how the ship works. Same thing with the Caterpillar. So I'm in the same boat as I am with some of those ships where there's these things that they sold ages ago, and they still haven't informed us what they're going to do. And how can you make a comprehensive purchasing decision when you don't know all the bits of moving parts? Kind of crazy, but yeah. I don't know. As the only one here that owns Javelin Space, what's your score?
I'm having trouble writing now. Wait, that's my brush.
Well, we all get that problem from time to time. You take the little blue pill and you'll be fine.
It's because I went and tried to erase all my dots.
Yeah. Oh, you went to the eraser?
Make sure you click the paint. You have to go to the paint.
The paint brush.
Yeah, the paint brush. Yeah, over on the left.
It's on the left.
Yeah, I keep clicking it, but then it.
Are you on the right layer, sir?
Tell me what the
it looks like you made a new layer. There's there's two Paul Shelley layers. Oh no, Paul did that because he made the Tiburon, right?
The Tiburon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you on your
Yeah,
layer
You
space?
see me drawing right there? What is that freaking color?
You're in black. Yeah, you got to change the color back to your red, bro. That's what's going on. You got to black.
Where's my color? E53838. All right.
There you go.
There you go.
C plus. And you own this. This is like one of only a couple of ships you own because you only really have ever purchased a C1, haven't you?
And I bought in on the 325. I upgraded from something to the C1. I think it was a Cutlass Black. I don't remember how I got that. I've got like,
yep, that would have done it.
Like I've probably spent like $300-400 on ships for myself. This one's from a referral though.
You got this from all your channel referrals. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but you technically own it. So, have you got a name for it yet? Well, I'm thinking of it.
No.
I think the garden would be a great name. The garden. Or the, something to do with gardening, the scythe or something like that. Something to do with gardening, but on the, the spade or something like that, something that you'll figure it out. I'm sure you will.
Maybe. I've been enjoying taking names inspired by the culture. They make really good ship names.
Oh.
Well, yeah. The culture from, I'm trying to think of the name of it. The Asimov series, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The best names. They're just it's kind of like how they name things in like Halo too. It's like in Amberclad.
An Amberclad
Return to Sender.
Pillar Bottom. Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Say my name. Yeah.
You should have left me alone.
Yeah.
That's a good one actually. I like that one. Right, the Idri, or the Idris, or the Idri. This ship makes me more excited for the Kraken. Just put it that way. I think this has a lot of shit. This ship has a lot of issues. Design. You talked about design by committee before the Redeemer. That's how this thing feels because it was designed to appeal to everyone that was working on Squadron.
Yep.
And while it's great for Squadron, I don't think it's the best for SC. It has a lot of, like, to fully man this properly at the moment, you need like 30 people.
It's cool as hell to use when you have 30 people, though.
It is.
It really is. What's the difference to which one's the one with the
rail guns? The one at the bottom's got the rail gun and the P. He didn't put all the different kits in, which is weird. He puts all the different skins in, but he doesn't put in the actual different ships, which is
Graham, what does the P carry?
Yeah.
Weapon-wise.
The P has nothing.
Okay.
And then I think you get a laser, the turret version, the K kit version. So yeah, it goes up from there. I believe the P's the one that's got nothing, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a professional in Idris when it comes to the gun layout. But yeah. I'll probably just give it the same. I can give it an A because it does have that massive railgun. And I will say this, when Argid rocks up with his Idris M, and there's a normal Idris there, he just mogs them. It's quite funny to see an Idris M versus one of the other Idrises because the railgun just pones things. It's quite funny. So yeah, he does mog them. Right. That is Aegis down. If I click this next layer, you guys will have to make a new layer in front of that, like I've done there. And then we've got Consolidate Outland and Mirai. I guess can we chuck all the Mustangs together, or do we? Well, I guess we can.
We're gonna have to go into a little bit more detail.
Because these two are the same.
You can put them together. The Vindicator and the Alpha are the same.
Yeah. So wait, I'll do it in a different way. So these two. So I'll do it with a square. Wait. These two are the same. There. And then the others are individual. So yeah. God, I think this thing
is.
These
are racers, the Omega.
Yeah, they're literally the same, just a different skin. I really think this thing is up for a rework after what they did with the Aurora, and you'll notice that the day the Aurora went up for sale, this dropped off the store.
Off the store entirely, yeah.
Which is exactly what happened with the Aurora. So I think it's happening in reverse. So in about 18 months' time, you'll see the Mustang come out with a rework or something like that.
It makes the most sense because we've got got the the Forge.
Yeah.
And we've got the Forge and we've got the Pioneer, which are both the sort of new style. So it's clear that like the Mustang will get a rework to look like the new style of ships from Consolidated Outland.
Yeah.
Yeah. And touching on what you said, Execute, this was really the secret way that they raised the price of Star Citizen. I don't think it really still has clicked because they've kept the I think they call it the Citizen Starter Pack at $45 discounted from 60. But when the Aurora Mark 1 was cleared for the Aurora Mark 2, like you said, the price of that basically replaced the Mustang as the Citizen Starter Pack, and they raised the price with it.
Yeah, well, actually, the Aurora Mark 2 is the same price. It's cleverly done because they're on-selling you the modules. It's the module that makes the price go up.
Yeah,
but
well, not just the modules, but the game package itself is already on discount.
Yeah.
So
it's $45, but it's on quote-unquote discount.
Yeah, exactly. So it's clever because it's a like technically they haven't increased the price if you don't buy the modules, but you're gonna buy the modules, type of thing to get full use out of it. So it's sneaky, but yeah. I don't know how they're gonna do it with the Mustang though, because again, if they Mark II it, are they gonna roll them all into one? And I also think they could do it in half a way, because realistically, if you look at the beta does have internals. Can't you just give internals back to the other variants? And if you did that, then you know what I mean? It would put
I think they redo them
back in line with the others.
Of the style.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think they just redo them. So we'll get a Mark II because of the changes. I hate the Mustang beta.
I don't know why you do.
Only because the Mustang beta, when it originally, the first version before they changed it, was so perfect. The interior was so cozy. It looked great. It was designed by somebody who clearly was like, how am I going to live in here? It had custom animations. It was a really good ship for what it was designed to do, which was like to take you from point A to point B and not have to worry about it. But then they redesigned it and they turned it into a Kleicher cell. So like the thing that made it stand out, the reason why it was called the Bang Stang in the first place, got stripped away from it. So now it's just garbage. It's just like, why buy this when you can buy something it's worse than than all of the Cutter series. And the Cutter series is like utilitarian as hell. Like, and they're better. They're longer range. They have more cargo space than the beta does, because beta has 0. So it's like, why do you exist? Why do you exist?
Yeah, and I again, like what happened with the Aurora, how they kind of made all these improvements with it. I'm expecting the same thing with the rework. I can't see them not combining this somehow, or at least cutting the fat. You know what I mean? Like, so cutting off some of the variants that just kind of, like you said, not having cargo in a ship like that doesn't make any sense. I could understand cutting the SCU count to like 2 instead of 4. But yeah, every ship like that, like a kind of generalist ship, needs cargo. It's just that simple. And they've seen sense in other ships too, like when they went back to the Tanner and they added 2 SCU to the Tanner and 2 SCU to the Redeemer, things like that. Especially in a ship that you're going to live on, needs some form of cargo. Yeah. Right. Shall we jump to the Nomad?
Sure.
And I guess we can chuck in the hover quad there too, but I'll start with the hover quad. It's the worst ground vehicle. It's just the worst. Of all the ground vehicles, it is the worst. All it does is carry a box, but you can get other ships that carry like the Dragonfly just mogs it completely. In my personal opinion. So yeah,
it's fine. It's the average. I see it as the new standard for average.
Yeah,
but we've talked about how the Dragonfly is the best ground vehicle in the game. So.
Yeah, for sure. As for the Nomad, I hated on this thing for a really long time, but once cargo elevators came in, I really saw the worth of this thing. It really was easier to load than other things. With the tractor beam, the ease of access and stuff like that. Of the kind of essential starter ships, besides, say, going to something more dedicated like a Hull A, which is obviously also now increased in price. Oh, sorry, no, the whole B. I've mixed myself up. The whole B. You know, this gives you the more living quarters, the further reach, I guess, and things like that. But you get things that are more dedicated around the same price, like the Ox and the whole A. I just think it's a really good all-rounder. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You guys want to add to the Nomad or nope?
I think it is. I mean, the Nomad was more exciting back when there was a little more ambiguity about how utility mounts would work. And they made it seem like utility mounts would allow for different types of tools that did different things. So like the tractor beam mount could be taken out for like change for a salvage laser, kind of like how some of the mounts on the like Reclaimer are. But that is not the case.
It was worse when mounts were just mounts. I remember people talking about going out mining in their Hornet.
Yeah.
When we go back to the beginning, space. Yeah, that's what we go back to the beginning. That was
yeah, it's got a ton of utility. I mean, it's got a bed, it's got a kitchenette, it's got a cargo deck. It carries the cargo externally, so the internal is pretty easy going and more compact than the tractor beam. Like this is a solid package for a ship, especially at 26 meters. Like this is the same length as a freaking Peregrine.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty compact for what it does. Paul, the Pioneer.
I do not own it, but it is S tier.
Yeah,
it's S tier. Like it is the building ship, base building ship, and manufacturing ship, and refining ship, and mining ship. It's got everything you need for like an actual frontier. Frontier.
It builds a city, and then builds a spaceport. I own it, and I wanted to own it for a really long time, but after the rework, it was like, geez, I really need to get one of these. And I am taking a gamble at the moment because the version I got does not have LTI, but currently it's priced at like, what is it, $925. So based on how much percentages usually increase, I'm expecting it to go over $1,000, and the prerequisite to things that have done that before is when they go over $1,000, they retroactively get LTI. So I'm taking a gamble that the version I've got is going to get LTI in the future.
Okay.
But yeah, if you look at the reconcept, it's hard not to see how much shit this has gained. It's just a factory. It's essentially a flying factory that you plop down and build a city out of. And with how fundamental base building is going to be in this game, I just couldn't see myself not wanting to own it. So yeah, the only thing that does what it does, basically, again, because of the spaceport. Yeah.
The fact this thing can mine out the freaking ground, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, just confirms we've got underground mining coming. Okay, Paul's gone around doing them all in advance. The Razor.
Sorry, I'm just doing them all in advance because I got to step out for a few minutes to use restroom real quick, but I'll be
all right. No worries. Do so. The Razor base, if you want to add to that. I think there's only, I was going to say there's only one good. I kind of actually completely agree with his, in fact, I'm going to do mine backwards to Paul in two of these. Because the default Razor and the White Razor is just an upgraded version of the default Razor. So it's literally two racing ships and one's better than the other. So why would you make, do you know what I mean? Why would you make a default and then go, oh, by the way, you can buy the premium edition?
And what the EX has more guns?
The EX is a stealth ship. It's basically a reconnaissance craft, a solo reconnaissance craft. And so in the actual game, because let's be honest, not everyone's going to do racing. Racing is let's be honest, it's a thing they get us to do because it's easy to do right now. But in the actual game, when we've actually got the game to play, do you think we're going to do like racing is going to drop off quite a bit? So of those three ships, the only one that's probably going to stand the test of time is the EX. And that's why it gets a higher score. And I think Paul has basically scored the Razor because it's the default racing razor, and he's gone the other way because they made the LX, so the LX doesn't need to exist. If I'm mind reading Paul correctly, where I went the other way because the LX is just better than the razor, but both points have merit, and I agree with him. Like if you deleted the LX and just had one, there was no reason for them to make two races and just instantly supersede it. Kind of stupid.
Yeah, the white one looks better anyways.
Yeah. Again, I think you'll eventually be able to get the skin and put it on the other. It's not going to really matter at the end of the day.
I'd hope so.
And then he did the pulse. Yeah, I'm kind of with him on the score there. The pulse is an S mainly because it fits into everything. And man, I could probably even go lower than a C and go to a D on the LX. It's not fair. I'll go to a B. The LX is just a racing variant. It doesn't really have much reason to exist other than marketing was like, make me a racing variant so I can sell more bikes. Yeah, there's no real reason for the LX to exist either. You're giving up the gun on the pulse as well. Yeah, but anything it can do, you can do with another bike. Like I can't see why you want to go really fast and not have the gun.
Yeah.
Technically, it does fit into more ships because the gun, it makes it shorter. So maybe there's some ships it fits into that the pulse doesn't fit into, but yeah. So yeah. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I like it. I actually secretly have I like the hover quad more, but performance wise, this thing does better and it fits in everywhere.
All right. Why do you like
thing with the hover bikes?
Why do you like the hover quad more? I'm curious.
Just feels more stable. The idea of a hover quad, I think, is pretty cool.
I love.
If they can build it.
I was just saying, I love the idea of the hover quad. It just doesn't. It was never implemented properly, and it's never worked properly.
Yeah,
I'm back.
Yeah, if they can build it to be to do what it's supposed to do in comparison to a bike, but in the hover format, that will be awesome. But we'll have to wait if that can happen.
I did some mind reading of you, Paul, while you were gone. I assume the reason why your Razor score was higher than your LX score was there was no reason for the LX to exist why the Razor exists. Was that correct?
Kind of, yeah. The LX is just sort of a slightly better Razor, but like, yeah, it's not really. As far as I know, I'm not a racer, so I don't know. I know that the Razor is fine. I give it a B because it's better, but the Razor LX is just, fine. The EX is the one that everyone loves because it's like a racer and it's stealth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right. The Fury. Jeez. Yeah.
Oh. My. You guys don't like the
See,
Fury.
for me, C is average.
Yeah, I just
C is.
Yeah, I just don't like the Fury. It's way too expensive for what it is. I'm not a fan of snubs. I don't understand why they come at $55 and you've got the Aurora at $45. And this thing was sold purely on the fact that it looks like a Star Wars TIE fighter.
Yeah.
And they don't functionally really do anything. They don't have a mothership to go with them. I know that they've built the Thule, but like, where's the MISC one? Why is there a racing variant again? Why? They've made a missile boat, like a snub that can't warp anywhere, and all it does is fires missiles. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a sentry turret. It doesn't sound like someone you want to put a person in. Just some really weird choices with the ships, in my personal opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the LX is decent because it's a racer. It's probably the best version of it because it is a racer. So like, you take it to a place to then race with it. That's fine. But the MX is simply the missile version of the Fury, and it's like, why did we need a Talon Fury or a what is it, a Strike Fury?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. The problem is snub fighters really have a hard time justifying themselves.
Why do you put Why do you put a shield on a missile turret? Was it going to make you feel safer that you're not going to die? Like, you're still gonna get blown up. Like on a ship that's like on a like putting a shield on the windscreen. I can take 10 points of damage, and I put the shield on, and I can take 11 points of damage. Like it's just so purposely stupid. I've only got to hit with one missile, and I'm dead anyway. Like it's so stupid. It's like putting my fingers in my ears and go la 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 la. I'm not listening. Like it's just.
Mhm.
I would hope the advantage here would be it's pretty hard to hit this thing with a missile.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to hit the missiles, and it's got a lower signature, and it's harder to track, and harder to hit in general. But it also means it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do enjoy it. I hear you guys with the state of snub fighters at the moment, but the idea of being able to pack this into a ship and be able to take it and run some short missions with it, like. I'm thinking a realistic future for myself, looking at the way that Star Citizen is shaping up to be, is grabbing like maybe an ironclad, putting a Fury in it, a Golem in it, a 100i in it, and like a few suits of armor and like an Atlas or two in it, you know, and going out and not coming back to a space station or civilized space for a couple of weeks. And this would be my combat, you know, tucking that inside there. I think if they can figure out how to make that a possibility, then snub fighters look like they have a place. Not a place to go buy with for $55, but
your answer's not that different from my own. It needs a mothership. Everything you just described is it needs a mothership, and
it has a mothership. It's called the
Starlancer.
Teirlist.
Tylenol.
Well, it's technically the Starlancer is the closest one, right? But again, why the hell did they only design it for one? There's enough space in there that they could have had 2 ships in that hangar. They could have had ships attached to the exterior of the Starlancer. Like it's all just design, like silly design choices that don't make any sense. I don't know. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get something bigger and bolder from MISC that caters to it. But a MISC opportunity. I'll see myself out. I'm full of the shitty puns today. Space. We need your we need your scores on the Guardians, please, when you're ready.
Yes. Oh, these are so complicated for me. God, I'm so conflicted.
It's so weird. Why again, like the Razor, why are there 3 versions of this? It makes 0 to no sense. Because if you just made the Guardian MX, the other 2 wouldn't exist. The only other one that really needs to be there is the Quai with the with the quantum dampener.
Is it a quantum interdiction?
Yeah.
Quantum dampener? Yeah.
Yeah. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like again, if you put that on the MX, then you could have just deleted the other 2. They are literally money raising, and spreading them out. 2 at the same time, and then one essentially was it 6 to 12 months later. It's just money raising.
They're selling prototypes.
Yeah,
they're selling prototypes. Yeah. That's what they're doing. Like the Guardian MX was the final version. They made the Guardian, and then they decide, hey, why don't we add a little bit of a fun thing to this and make it a quantum dampener, because we don't have that many ships with quantum dampener. So they just made one with a quantum dampener, and there's really no difference in terms of them, just 2 different versions. And then they basically, after that, were like, oh, okay, how about we make this better? And then made the MX. So like,
yeah,
the MX is the actual ship. The other 2 are prototypes that they just sold.
Yeah,
because
that's a fun theory.
That's what CIG does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they did with the Rock. Like they literally they were making the Rock DS first, and then they realized that they wouldn't have enough time to finish the Rock DS. So they decided to, so they made the Rock, or the original Rock.
I think you put your layer in the wrong place, Paul. Your new layer.
There you go.
You want me to drag it? You got it? Oh wait.
Yeah.
All right. I'll delete the old one. Where was it? No, we're good.
No, I moved it down. I'm good.
Yeah. Yep. Right. Where do you want to start?
Start with C or the whole?
We'll go big to small.
E?
We'll go big to small. Right. Whole E. Damn. Yeah. Again, this is an unknown for me. It's an unknown for me. It really is. Do you want to move your entire starbase? I am sure at some point there are going to be people that want to have this size of ship. But I remember when it was sold, they literally said, "Oh, it can carry more cargo than the ship is worth itself." That just to me is insane. Yeah.
I have the same problem that I have with a lot of chips that I have with the E, is that the E was built along with the C and the B and the D and the A. They're just kind of like, oh, let's just do all this at once. It was before they really knew what they were doing with ships. And now that they more understand how to build the ships for the game they have, the E and the D are basically the same situation. It's like, why would anyone have any desire to move this number of things? So it's really hard to tell what these things are for. The C already has insane amounts of cargo. So
yeah, they're just oversized. Like even after being reduced like freaking 70% of its size, the E is still just so big.
Right, Paul, slow down. Paul, slow down.
No, I have to put that there. Okay.
You're getting carried away.
Yeah, he's getting carried away. He's going to do the whole page. He does that. Him and Loken did that a lot. They just run ahead.
Yep.
Yep.
They're those dungeon runners.
All right, Space, tell me about the whole B. Why does it get an S?
It's like Paul said. They figured out how to do what they needed to do with external cargo. Like, I think I'll speak for myself here. And folks can agree in the comments that they feel this way. But the Hull B is the first ship in Star Citizen, in my opinion, that you can tell everybody else in the sci-fi world that it's a cargo hauler, and they would get it immediately.
Yep.
It looks like a real cargo hauling concept that you'd see in a movie. It looks like you get it. As soon as you see it, you understand what it does, why it works that way, what its benefits are, and what its potential dangers are. And the whole series before it has always looked kind of awkward. It's been a really cool concept. And I think that gigantic space trucker vibe is something a lot of people want, but it's way better oriented like this.
Did you like that they widened her, like made her fatter? As in, she's similar to some of the other ships in the Mist lineup now, with the wider face, so to speak.
I think, yeah, it looks less phallic, which is generally a good thing, and in some cases. But I also want to say that even though it has the S, I'm going to add a little S minus, because I do find it annoying that the back of the ship is so unutilized. It's just thrusters back there, and I would prefer if there was maybe all the engineering was back there or something.
So the reason I gave it an A is the price increase. It went from $140 to essentially $240, and I don't think that's super justified personally. It feels again like money raising. I can see a price increase, but not to that. Like it almost went up, went from 140 to 240. That's pretty egregious. And I just don't think
it had more to do with other ships of its class than it had to do with itself. That's the problem.
And I could probably see it going to about 200, but I can't see it going to 240. And it is, I hate to say it, it is just a cargo. Like it's niche. So when you a pigeonholed like that, I don't think it was quite justified to go that high. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So that's why it loses a point for me. But yeah.
We're all in the whole A, and I'm going to say the reason why we all have A for the whole A is because it's the A. That's the real reason, right? Is the alliteration? Just there's no other reason.
Well, it's also really good at what it does for its size and stuff.
It is really good for its size. It's a really good starter hauler.
But I'll be honest, it's completely mogged by the Ox.
Yes or no.
So let me
the Ox is.
Let me just say this: there are 3 ships that do what they do, right? Ironically, one of them Space owns the C1, the Hull A, and the Ox. They all have the same cargo capacity. The Hull A has to split them up in individual smaller boxes, so it's actually the worst of the 3. And the other one the C1 can do it the fastest, but it's also got an internalized cargo, so that drops back a bit as well. And then you've got the Ox that's completely external, and that's the middle ground between the other 2. In my opinion, It's the best of both worlds, so to speak.
There is no cargo, or there's no like personal storage really. There's no there's no amenities of the Ox, which is why it works right now in the game. Right now it works, but in the near future, when like Starware and those sorts of things come online, the whole A is going to mog the Ox for that reason. If you're just a solo hauler, and that's the reason why I think it's so good, is that it is the quintessential solo hauler. And I know you've said in the past that it's like it was like a planet to station ship. I think it's just the starter hauler, so it's the goes all the places the other haulers go, but starter.
I think that you'll have other options to do that with the other two, right? With the Spirit or the C1 and the whole A. But I just don't think it's a proven thing. Like I think when you start to do like to have the option to go between planets, you can still do that with an Ox. It's just that you can't essentially log out there. You can't live on it. So yeah, there's some nice to haves in the other two ships, but I just don't think they're proven. But I think it's the whole A out of the three that drops the ball the most. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'll freely admit when I'm wrong, and I usually do. But where my brain's taking me is that the whole A has dropped off a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll do these other two while we're here. The Fortune and the Prospector while we're here, because they're nice and small and quick. Yeah, that's a pretty fair score, Paul. Yeah.
From what I've heard, because the Fortune, the Fortune is just a vulture for people who don't like Drake.
No, it also doesn't do what the Vulture does. It doesn't have a way to blast ships apart like it does right now, right? But they've said they're going to go back and work on salvage, right? And there's literally, you can see on the Vulture, there's a play, because if you read the original concept, it has these blast charges to break the ship apart. So either the Fortune's going to do exactly that, but they're just a part of your cargo, right? And if it is that, then it is literally just a Drake version of the Vulture. And even then, I would prefer the Vulture because it's got the processing thing, the big drum where you pull stuff in. Where's the processing drum on this? There isn't one. So what you're paying for here is better level of tech, but a less quality serviceable ship. You're paying for the tech of Mist over the tech of Drake, and to me, that's just not a proven thing, personally. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
The Prospector is just goated. It's goated with the sauce. It is so good still.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Have you Space? When's the last time? Did you ever take the Fortune out, Space?
Probably when it first came out. Yeah, I went and tested it, but I was hoping that this was kind of their starter salvager, but it became quickly clear it wasn't, and so
that's what I thought.
Whatever it was, and that ended up being the salvation.
I have not seen one in game in a bit. I can't even think of the last time I saw one in game. It's been a really, really, really long time. So yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I don't see them.
I think we'll go to the Reliant and then just work our way up vertically up. So yeah.
God, I don't even know these.
I'm actually going to do what you guys did on that one. Yeah, God, man, I find myself agreeing with Paul a lot. A lot.
That's a problem.
It's scaring me. It's scaring me how much I'm agreeing with you, Paul. We've worked too much well together. I'll start at the top. The Tanner. I really want to love the Tanner. Like of these four variants, it's the one that probably speaks to me the most. It's probably, and this says a lot, it's probably the best designed of this series, because they've made a lot of accommodations, but the flight mechanics of the ship just doesn't work. I think that's what would say is the problem overall with this ship. I think, would you guys agree? Because of the verticality, it's just too easy to shoot. Is that the biggest problem?
It pancakes a lot. And that's at least the term that I was taught when I was doing PvP stuff. It pancakes a lot, so it gives you a large surface area, and if one of those wings gets shot, the whole thing is screwed. And that's the problem with all of them. The difference is that the Tana has a lot more guns, and it at least has like a space where you can take like one SCU of cargo plus like 2 beds and like weapon racks, stuff like that. It's really good for
so
like if you have two people who are starting doing mercenary work, like running bunkers.
So Bops goes out mogging people in the Tanner, but he flies it completely vertical when he does so, horizontal when he does so. And one of the things he really loves is he goes along with a co-pilot, and all they do is fire missiles.
Yeah,
and they can fire missiles in any direction because of the ball turret on it. So it's really cool.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's still got all the problems that the regular Reliance have. It's just the best out of all of the variants.
I think they need to make it like if I had my ultimate go back and redesign thing. Do you remember the ships from Lost in Space from 1998 where they had that giant golden like glass sphere, and Matt LeBlanc and that other guy were flying in it around the moon,
and it was spinning. Yeah, the wings were spinning.
Yes,
like propellers.
So as it flies, like if you move into the left, it kind of like rotates and starts spinning to the right, and to the left, and then it spins to the right, and stuff like that. So if those wings were constantly moving, it would negate a lot of the problems of it being so easy to be shot. And I think that is how I would do it, but. Yeah, I'm not. I don't get to make that call. So yeah. The scene I put a question mark on because what the fuck is science? I do think that'll come back around. We know
what it is. We know what it is. It's just not very engaging right now. It's just a part of crafting. Science is part of crafting.
Well, essentially, it's scanning. So you're going to be you're going to scan life forms and scan different things, and then basically get the data, and then try and put the two things together and experiment, and eventually you'll find something. So it's lots of experimenting is what I think science is going to end up being, but leads into crafting, as you said. The Mako. Oh God, what a joke!
Has no point.
Yeah,
it has no purpose. It is a joke.
Yeah, unless they're giving it to content creators for free, it's never going to be what they want it to be.
It's a scam.
Yeah,
like even. It's in the game right now. You can use the Mako right now. The problem is that it has no point, and the one thing that it could be used for, which is like a camera,
doesn't work.
The camera, they put a bunch of stupid like overlays over the camera, so it's not even a clean camera.
Yeah.
Which it should be for people using it for like camera work. But like, yeah, it's an example of this is a cool idea. We'll sell this cool idea, and maybe streamers will buy it, and then have no actual like mechanics to support it, and we'll never have mechanics to support it. So it's just dumb.
Yeah, and the core just doesn't carry enough cargo for what it needs to do compared to other ships in its line. So yeah, it's in a pretty sad state. I think we all agree it probably needs a bit of an overhaul. It's completely mogged by things like the Nomad and stuff like that. So yeah, this ship could be really, really cool if it had the right facelift. So yeah. I was just going to go straight up to the Odyssey, Paul, if that's cool with you.
Sure.
And then we'll go up to the God tier.
I want to hear tomatoes, because this feels like a tomato ship.
Wow.
It does feel like a bit of a tomato ship. Yeah, no, I could. Ooh.
I was right.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I am really tempted to get one of these. I've got a couple of CCUs, and I'm really, really, really tempted. So yeah, Space, tell us about it, please, bud.
To be honest, this one really gets me because of the concept image of it with the sun flare. That one picture like screams Prometheus to me. And so for me, this ship is Prometheus, and it kind of sits in that category too. It's the kind of ship you take out on a really far distance exploration vessel or voyage, and you can sustain yourself. You probably want to have something in there that's doing some farming for you, but you can do all of the harvesting you need, and I think refining you need to keep your fuel going and keep yourself powered. So this is like one of the deepest exploration vessels in the game, if I'm not mistaken. I know people are going to freaking have a crack at, what's exploration? Do you go in to find some combat? Guys, there's plenty of space to be able to explore in star systems. Just like give it a moment. Bases, resources, points of interest. We can actually find things as long as they can put stuff that's valuable to people in them. We can actually find them. And I think just seeing cool areas. Is
this the image you were talking about? Is this the image you were talking about?
No, I gotta find it. Hold on. No. The one where it's sitting in the hangar. Sorry, that is also that's literally a.
You said the one with the
Yeah.
eclipse. So
That's the lens flare. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
no, that one.
Yeah.
That one's the one. Yeah, that picture has always captured me with this ship, and for that alone, I want it. Like with that saber, but I also feel like this will be a very self-sustaining ship.
Yeah,
it's it's like Misk's answer to the Ironclad. Like they're very similar, except for Misk is a lot more detailed with this because it's got that self-supplying mining. It's got refining.
Yeah,
it's a very focused version of the Ironclad.
It's also the only other Corvette that's the same size as the Polaris. So I've always seen it as the industrial Polaris.
The industrial Polaris, yeah. It's similar. Yeah.
And again, they need to fix their size classes, but let's not get into that discussion.
Oh god, that's a discussion we're gonna have. I don't know when that's gonna come out. Probably after this is released, but you know.
Yeah. soon we'll get around to that. I'm very taken by it too. Space. And I like the more industrial elements in the game. So, I've got a feeling. You kind of got the two types of exploration, don't you? You've got the go where no man's gone before with the Carrack, and then you've got the industrial exploration with, the money maker, and I think that's what this one is. And living out there and working on this ship and having other ships come to you to resupply you and stuff like that. I think you're right. I think that's what this ship will be doing, and the hangar sells that concept to me. So yeah. Right. The Endeavor. Yeah, kind of hard
the
not
Endeavor?
to give this one an S. Yeah.
S plus plus. S plus 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 plus. It's the best ship in the game because it's the last ship that will ever be made in the game.
Yeah, it's going to grow. I think the last chance me and Grim looked at this, it has to go to at least 420. It's currently 200 with all the modules and all the type of gameplay you can get. It's currently $350 per dollar. It probably offers more gameplay than any other ship in the game.
Did you literally say it's going to be 420?
Yeah, I did.
Blaze it.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, long story short, you're going to be waiting a long time to get it. But if you sit on it, you've only got to sit on like a $10 CCU from Gemini, Starfarer Gemini to Endeavor, and then if it comes out and it's everything you want, you can apply it. It's that simple.
Yeah. And what we say for the CCU is like if you buy the actual CCU, which is like at least $10, then you would still have to pay for the actual ship when it comes out, but you lock it in at the lower price.
That's it.
That it is. So like even if the price goes up, you still have that, Starfarer to Endeavor upgrade, and that will give you a huge
Starfarer Gemini. To be specific, though, Starfarer is 300, I think, and this is 340. So it allows you to jump to the Gemini for just $10. But Space. Is there anything you care to weigh in there, and why you think it's so good or bad or whatever?
Honestly, this is the ultimate ship. It's a Swiss. If a Swiss Army knife was the size of a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, basically. It's the largest modular ship we know about, put it that way. Oh, maybe the Javelin's the only other one. But it's definitely going to be not just combat like the Javelin's going to be. So, yeah. Overpromised, overhyped, and it makes John Crew's eyes water every time he mentions it. So it's always a plus in my book. Right. Starfarers? And then work our way down and around, I think, maybe.
Okay.
See, this is another ship that I love. But it's in a really shit spot right now. I struggle between heart and head, Yeah, that's probably fair. I'm just going to give them the same score. Because fundamentally, they are the same ship. Essentially, if you buy the Gemini, you get all the modular pieces to turn it back into the Starfarer. And basically, the only real difference without the modular pieces is one has more armor. So if you're going to buy the Gemini, and then you just get everything. So this would be essentially C+ type of thing. Anything you boys care to add?
No, I mean, I generally don't like it because of, I actually, the layout is a little bit endearing to me for some reason. I just don't like it because of the looks mainly. But it's a valuable ship and it's good. I think fuel is all over the place right now, so it's hard to love, but this will be a valuable ship, Jeff, definitely with some more armor.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get some rework. They mentioned that, so I'll be excited to see how it pans out after the rework. But yeah, it's similar to like anyone that's a 600 Iona. You're in the same ballpark as someone like that, you know, knowing your ship's going to change, but apprehensive about where it's going to go. So yeah. Paul, anything you could add, or moving on? Grunts. Okay, he's eating. I think he's eating. Yeah,
I'm drinking. You literally caught me as I took a big stick of water.
All right. Yeah. Sorry.
It's one of the few ships that's actually decent now, and you can actually make some money off of it and all that kind of stuff. But you know,
yeah, time will tell. Right, the Expanse. I think this is probably more likely to be showing where the direction of Starfarer is going to go. I'm hopeful we get this year, but I'm not certain we will. We definitely need refining in, right? And we've got the Galaxy coming. I think they'll put it into a new ship rather than do one that's already announced, because there's more money in a new ship, right?
Yep.
And then kind of come back and do this one later, and then, you know, then the Galaxy will come out and they'll add it to the Galaxy. So that's where my brain tells me, but I would like to see it this year, but I don't think we will. We'll see. Anything you guys care to add about refining, or?
I don't know. I mean, like, it's the only ship that does refining, like that is explicitly refining. So
yeah, this is pretty similar to the Prospector for me. It actually ends up misleading me a lot, much like the Perseus. I think this is bigger than it is. And it's interesting that this is more of like a 2-person ship. I always thought it was maybe a 3 to 4-person ship, but I think this is going to be also one of the workhorses.
It's a 1-person ship.
Oh, even smaller. See, that's wild to me.
It's smaller than a Freelance. So if you go look at it, like the Freelancers are just below it. It's actually 5 meters shorter, roughly, than the Freelancer. Yeah. It's mainly storage. It's these custom storages for the actual refining is why it's as big as it is.
And I think you're going to have a lot of people who are mining. So if they can get player markets, player interactions working, this will be a very, very commonly used ship.
The ship that it's similar to, that I've just realized, I don't know how he's got the whole B on here, but he missed it. But there's no Starlight. We need to draw the Starlight. So I would like your best Starlight impression, please. Space.
Yeah, I did the Tiburon.
Yeah, you did the Tiburon. So we'll get Space to do the Starlight. Wherever you want to draw it, Space.
Starlight. Yeah. I need to remember what it
looks like. I'm just picturing like some giant star with a smile on it or something like that is what I'm saying. But yeah, the Starlight to me is very similar to the Expanse. They are both kind of utilitarian, but the size of them is determined by their role, not by the number of people that use it, which is, you know, let's be honest, that's been a pretty big trend for how Star System goes. Big ship, big crew, you know. And at $60, that thing is
like from the freaking top.
Starlight's like a drum with a cab at the front, basically. Like a drum.
It looks like the Starfarer, but with
he's pulling out reference pics in the background. I can tell right now. He's like, okay,
I am.
Yeah. I put him under pressure. And he's doing all right. All that time at uni to become a
penny right there. Huh?
Yeah, all the time to do engineering has paid off. You can really draw now.
I don't think they ever cared about my ability to. There you go.
There you go. Perfect.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
a little fin back here, a little cool fin guy.
Oh, you gave it an S. Jeez, I was going to give it an A. But
it is so good for what it does.
For the price, it's pretty.
For the price, it's the introduction ship. It's, you know, it's $55, and even if they increase it to $60, it's like insanely cheap for what it does. But yeah, it's good. It's a really good starter refueler, and you know, it's actually got a mission chain to it, so it's the easiest way of doing it.
Yeah. It's going to be really good for NPC refueling and player refueling. Like you can see, they're going to send one of those things out to new players to help them out and stuff. So yeah. Right, the shit light. Oh, sorry, the shit lancer. My bad. Sorry, I got it wrong. Not the shit light. The shit lancer.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel there, X.
People know how I feel. Way too big for the cargo allotment. Why isn't it just called the silencer? There was no reason to call it the max. Everything to do with the max is faked. You know, they fake cut back the cargo allotment on the other ships just because they can. There's no reason to cut it back, but they did. So there's really no fundamental difference in the areas where it needs to be. I will say though this: we don't have the build yet, and I know from talking to Ben and John that the build is what it was built for. So I think that is going to be the best variant of this ship. But this is one of the first ships they did from scratch and never ever concepted, and it shows that they need community feedback really badly. Because it's just terribly designed, really badly designed.
I like it. I like the way it's designed. It has some small problems to it, but
yeah, don't get the military boys started on the tack, man. They just pull it asunder so quickly, and they point out all the flaws.
That's because the military boys don't understand that it's not a military ship; it's a militia ship. It's the equivalent of a Toyota Tacoma or Toyota Hilux with a anti-aircraft gun on the back, but it's designed to be like that.
Yeah,
like in game, the way that the TAC works in, I'm sure there's a reason why Tomato put an A+ on there too. Is for similar reasons. Is that it is so good for what it does? It basically creates a mobile base. It has everything you need for a mobile infantry operations. Its real problem is its firepower isn't as good as it could be.
Yep. You can basically get a smaller utility ship and a smaller combat craft with less crew. And that's why it drops off. But the military boys keep going, it's going to light up like a Christmas tree too because of its size.
Yeah, but it's designed for if you want a group of 6 or 7 people to go do bunker operations or do FPS operations with some light support. It's perfect for it because it's got medical, it's got respawn capabilities, it's got weapon racks, it's got weapons, it's got drop seats. It's still got lots of cargo space. So if you want to go pick up crazy things like what are those things? The components. Now, the other thing is, I don't know how much this has changed or not since they added armor, but I also assume that this will probably be very so it'll be more tough than it is now.
Visually, there's no difference between it and the max, but yeah, I agree. It should definitely have a green skin variant like the other MISC ships that have extra armor. I think that's a definite requirement that it needs is extra armor over the other two. Yeah, I agree with you.
And the max is just, it's not as good as other ships of its size, but it's good enough to do what it needs to do. So sorry, go ahead, Space. I don't want it to eat up the whole thing.
No, you guys said everything. I mean, this is the Star Citizen ship. This is what came out right as they started to realize what Star Citizen was going to be for the most part, I think, at least for groups. Kind of like how the Clipper sort of seems to be what they think that at least the solo gameplay is going to look like. They want you to be able to fly somewhere separately, man a turret, fly a ship, move some cargo, revive yourself, do some health, take a vehicle. It's all right there. It's like a smaller Carrack. So yeah, pour one out for the military guys, but it's not a military ship.
Yeah. The Freelancer, last miss ship we're gonna do. Yeah.
Woo! My favorite ship. My favorite ship series, I should say. I'll start.
Yeah, go for
I
it.
love the ship. I love the ship series. It is, even though it's old and it needs a lot of love, it is so fundamentally good. It is like one of the few ships of Star Citizen that is unchanged in terms of like, since it's the last major change. Its unchanged nature has allowed it to still be very functional. The Miss is a pretty decent combat ship when supporting other combat ships. The Max is a sleeper ship. It holds a lot of cargo and it can go for pretty long ranges, but it's got a very tiny footprint for the amount of cargo it can carry.
Completely mogs on the Zeus. It does exactly the same amount as the Zeus and completely mogs it.
And I think it's even got more cargo space than the C1. Like, and it's not nearly as close, like,
it's definitely
size.
Definitely more than the C1. Yeah.
It's got 120.
Careful.
I know. I know.
It's only 64 on the C1. So it's almost double.
Well, you get 96 because you can throw another 32 in there. And the Max is similar in that you can fit a little more.
Yeah.
And the regular freelancer is a solid, like, Spirit, Cutlass, Vanguard sort of range of ships, and it's pretty small, but like in terms of its footprint, but it still holds decent cargo. And it's got decent range. The Dur is the only one that's kind of like, what? Because it's an exploration ship and it's got problems. Like they're not really expanding its range like they should, and it's like refinery doesn't really work. But like, yeah, I think it's a solid ship. It needs a rework, but you can play with these ships. Like I play with the Max all the time, and you really don't need, it doesn't need much of a overhaul from functionality. It just needs some interior changes so that it matches with the modern needs of the game. That's about it. But exterior and its size is fine.
Yeah. Space.
I like the series. I'm kind of tired of how old they are, and I wish they would get a nice refund, or not refund, but like a refresh.
I was going to say, I was going to agree with you and go, yeah, it does need a rework. And then you go refund. I'm like, sorry, keep going.
The Freelancer Max is really good. I think it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I feel like the Freelancer Max is the closest parallel to the Asgard is to the Valkyrie.
True.
And I think they did a great job with it, and it's the most useful ship in the series. But yeah, it kind of suffers from being constructed earlier on. Yeah. And I can't wait to see them get it up to the proper standard at least.
It kind of makes the default Freelancer not the greatest because it but the other thing is, unlike other ships, because it's got these extra engines as well, and you can see it in the picture there, it will cost more to run fuel-wise than the other ships because you're essentially using the double amount of engines. And the other really interesting thing is it's the fastest of these ships. Did you guys know that? In a straight line,
yeah,
it's the fastest. But as soon as you go to turn, it's like a bathtub. It really is cool how it flies compared to other ships. But yeah. Sorry, Space. Sorry, please continue.
No, I was done.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with both of you. Rework time. I think I can leave it at that. Short and sweet.
Rework time, baby.
Yeah. Right, moving on. This one was, so we're getting down to little outliers now. So this is some of the origins, some of the alien, and the smaller manufacturers. So we're getting into the nitty gritty, all the little vehicles and shit like that. So where do you guys want to start? We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So we'll go with Grays on the Shiv. Want to go to the Shiv?
Sure.
I know Bops is a big fan of this one. I think the only thing that kind of kills it for me at all, the only reason I'm going to give it a B is the price. This is basically
it's the Cutlass Mark II.
Yeah, it's a Cutlass Mark II is exactly what it is. And it's got basically Hurricane guns on it. So basically they've gone, we've got a Hurricane at 190 and we've got a Cutlass at 110. What's halfway between that? Bang. And that's kind of how they priced it. But other than that, there's a lot to love about the scrappy look and the body kits that they're bringing out. And I'd be really surprised if when the Basher comes out in a week or so's time, as we're recording this, if it doesn't also have those body kits. So yeah. You guys want to add anything, Space or Paul?
No, I agree with the Cutlass Mark II angle. I don't like the styling of this ship, but it is a good ship.
Well, it's
Hard
like
to
this.
deny it.
It's like this famous friend of mine once said, "For you to this to be a game for everyone, there has to be things in this game that you hate." Do you know who said that?
Dude.
Yeah, wise dude. Do you know who said that, Space? Do you know who said that?
I have some theories.
Yeah. For those that don't know,
Some vegetable,
some
fruit.
It was some gardeny fruit thing guy. Yeah. Some real fruity guy we know. I said that.
Really into ketchup.
Yeah.
Great sage fruit.
Yeah. It's not a vegetable; it's a fruit. He's got you there. That's technically true, right?
I was called vegetable, but yeah.
Oh, it's technically a fruit, and apparently the way you can tell is whether it grows under the ground or above the ground. That is the difference.
It's also seeds.
Yeah,
its seeds are internal. So
yeah,
politically correct terms, you know.
Yeah. Geez, I don't think I can give these guys scores that high, guys. Come on.
I'm going off of old knowledge, so it's the last time I used either of these.
The prices on these ships just kill them for me.
That's the price. Yeah,
so the Scythe isn't even as good as a Hornet that costs $110. And it's definitely the rarer of the two. The reason for kind of owning these ships is their rarity. That's what they've become. You know, they're the Big Benny's vending machine. They're the piano. They're those rare items that people pay exorbitant amounts to have to say, I have this that no one else has. So yeah, they're not the best ships.
I think they're both ugly.
Yeah,
get out of here. Give me that new Vandal style or get out.
Right.
Yeah. That's true. These are the old ones. The only thing I'll say about it is, last I heard, the Glaive was pretty decent in terms of maneuverability and combat. The Scythe was just all right. That's it.
Oh, Paul, can you draw me your best stinger? Wait, no, that'll be under Xperia. No, never mind. Wait, that'll be under Xperia. So we'll have to do that under Xperia. Technically, the Glaive should also be under Xperia. So he's fucked that up.
Yeah.
Grim fucked it up again. No, that's right.
Did we already do the Xperia? Oh, we did the Xperia.
No, Xperia's on the next page. Look, because if I click this button and turn this on, there's Xperia there. But the Glaive should be on Xperia, not under the Vandal. Anyway.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. In my book, they should all be under they should all be under Xperia. Anyway. Oh God, I have to put an F on that before I even think of anything else. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with Paul on that one. Oh my God, I hate the MD.
I always forget the MDC and MTC. I always forget which one. I think the MDC is the one with the.
I've literally just started calling it the Grey Cat turret and the Grey Cat armor carrier, and I'm going to call the other one the Grey Cat fabricator because they're the stupidest fucking names. Like, I can understand if they called it the MC hyphen something, but the fact that they've called it it's the middle letter that changes is just aggravating.
Yeah. And
all their other ships had cool little names like Rock and ETV, you know. Yeah. But the fact, STV, so that they were lining up, and this thing just breaks the whole thing, and it shits me. I've got to think for a second. It's the turret one. Yeah, the turret one is pretty good. And this one, for me, drops off a bit, but it's still pretty good. And then what I need is the STV. The other one that we need to add here is the UTV. So, you want to do a UTV, Paul? I love how it's like he's drawn it to scale.
It's like a little locust.
It looks like a Pikmin. It's actually my favorite. I'm gonna be honest. It's my favorite of the Grey Cat vehicles. It's all terrain, a little bit like the Dragonfly, and it carries cargo, and you can kind of do some. Yeah, I brought one.
Yeah,
I was a big fan. So yeah.
I have one.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all of the Grey Cat vehicles except for the DS. The only one I don't have are the Rock, obviously the DS and the Steve, but I have the PTV, I have the MTC, I have the MDC, and I have the UTV. So
well, the Steve dies because of the UTV. Literally, it's an on foot version of, or what do you call it, an urban version of the UTV.
Yeah. It strips out all. The Steve has got more or has less utilitarian stuff. It like the UT just strips all the superfluous out. But the Steve still does have like cargo
and less, but it has less. Racer. But it has less cargo too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. But it's a racer, so like that's why I gave it a B. Because like it's good. It's above average. Its size is smaller than a Cyclone, so and it's got a little.
Yeah, I think that's what really gets it for me is the size. It's
yeah.
Actually.
They're the same size.
Good advantage.
Though. The STV and
it's the same.
The UTV and the STV are the same, aren't they?
No, the UTV is smaller, but the Steve is faster.
Yeah, but then when you go in like outside the cities, I reckon the UTV will be better because it's more. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
It will be. But the Steve also has like accoutrement for like weapons racks and that kind of thing too. So it's got a little bit more luxury to it. You can think of the Steve as the luxury Ute.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And the PTV is just the goat because it is the original ground vehicle, and I love that little thing. So
I think it's kind of ugly, but I can't wait for its rework.
What?
It does look good.
Yeah, especially the rework, bring it in line with the UTV and the STV. I think it'll look great as the smallest of the TVs.
Yeah, remember that free skin we're getting in 2 years' time? That was 4 years ago. Yeah, just saying.
The one that they used, the PR move they used to try to shut us up because we were mad because they were absolutely screwing us over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I will in the defense of the MDC and the MTC is I like what they're there for. They're kind of like an attempt at making something to be better than the Ursa, because the Ursa is so good at being the best default ground vehicle. So the both the MTC and the MDC are a little bit are like more specialty, and smaller, but they're around the same goal.
The MDC in time will be very neat because it's the only thing that allows you to take heavy armor at the moment in a vehicle. So again, but if they just made a vehicle where you could sit down in your heavy armor and drive, which you probably can't do, or some kind of, I guess the Spartan does it as well. Now I think about it, but it's a lot smaller than a Spartan. So yeah, I don't know. There's a need for it. I can see it, but we'll see. Time goes on. Space, is there anything you care to add there? Because these are all a bit generic, aren't they? Being ground vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, the Rock DS is obviously crap for a penis, whatever that is.
Should never be sold.
I haven't used the MDC, so I don't know what to think of that. The MTC is a great vehicle, but the fact that it is the same width as an Ursa just ruins it. PTV is too old for me. UTV is great, love it. S tier. STV is not as nice looking, so I gave it an A. That's about me.
Well, I knew how popular that thing, the MTC, was going to be the moment me and Paul did the buyer's guide for it, and we just took it out, and Paul's like flying the plane in, and he's just getting shit shot out of him. It was great to watch. It was just fun as fuck. So yeah, I'm surprised once ground operations come around that MTC will be a very popular little thing. I have no doubt.
Yeah,
I've seen it used pretty extensively at Hathor. Like groups will bring MTCs around for Hathor. Like we used an MTC once we opened up the opening for Hathor.
Yeah, so did we.
We dropped an MTC down and it would just like shoot, and it would shoot out bombs. It would shoot out missiles. It was a really good little defensive turret. So
We should
Great for bunker running.
we should all get together and buy one for Morphologist. I think he would hate the fuck out of us for doing that, but we should do that just for fun. It'd be funny.
You want to do the origin next?
I'm
and
up
then
to
move to the right.
I'm up to Tumbril. I've already got Tumbril framed in.
Let's do
Yep.
Tumbril then.
Cyclones.
Yeah.
There is
Hold on,
only
I'm trying to think
really
which ones
one
are which.
cyclone in my book anymore. There's only two that matter, and it's these two.
MT.
The MT basically took the best of the AA and the TR and merged them together, killing the TR and the AA. Essentially, for me, the RC is a racing variant, so that just drops off. The RN is where I think it's really going to be at when the full game comes out. It's ground scanning, basically. So this is your reconnaissance vehicle. It's going to be really important. And then the Cyclone is just like every other kind of vehicle, as in it carries cargo. And it now carries as much as a UTV. So
Yeah.
when you kind of work it all the way through, like, you can kind of see that the only two that are going to possibly survive are these two. Everything else is going to kind of just drop off given time. But yeah, you guys feel free to weigh in on that if you wish.
I agree generally. The other thing I will argue is that the AA probably will have some value because
True.
I have a feeling when they turn it when they start making it so that you can start targeting locations with missiles in some way, shape, or form, the AA goes from just being an AA platform to being a rocket artillery. And I do think that its rocket artillery status could make it a little bit more valuable.
True.
But I always see the Cyclone as the standard, like just kind of like the Ursa is the standard rover. The Cyclone is the standard car. So it is the thing that everything is based off of. If it is smaller than an Ursa, it is compared to the Cyclone. So as a result, it gets the C for being just average. They're fun to drive though, and the RC is still the undisputed speed king when it comes to that range of vehicles. It's just so fast.
Yeah. The Storm. Such a disappointment. It could have been so much cooler than actually it was.
It's the problem with Storm was it was designed by, they gave it to somebody who hadn't designed ships yet for Star Citizen, so they didn't really fully understand the role it was going to have. So the base Storm is based off of a unique idea, but it is just badly designed in terms of gameplay. I will still echo Loken's argument against it, which is effectively when you are firing at an enemy with a vehicle, you're going to be facing towards the enemy, most likely. So leaving and entering of the from the front is not a good idea if you get knocked out, because if you need to do anything, you're going to have to climb out of the front and you'll get gunned down as you go. Yeah. There is no defensive mechanism for the driver as they're getting out. So it was designed as a cool idea, because even when it was being released, I remember Jared saying it's like a mech. You kind of go inside of it and kind of control it, and it's like the problem is it's also the same size as the Nova in terms of its footprint, and it's slow.
So what I'm hearing is the Storm needs ejection seats.
What the Storm needs is
a parachute. Can you imagine that?
Or a redo.
Yeah. It's going to get a redo. It needs a redo.
The AA is fine. The AA is I think actually, but makes more sense because it's a backliner. It's designed to be used as a AA platform, and it could also be used as rocket artillery in the future, similar to the Cyclone AA. Yeah. But it's just a disappointment because it's a scout tank that can't scout. A light tank that's has the same footprint as a heavy tank. Yeah. And there's a lot of it's just badly designed from point A to from top to bottom. It's just poorly designed.
You very quickly start to realize that they don't know their own metrics when you see things like this.
It was designed by one dude, and it was his first time doing anything, and they clearly didn't have. They're going over rule of cool over actual gameplay. Yeah. Like no one sat down and said, "What is this role in the game?" Yeah. But that's another conversation to have.
Yeah. Space, anything to add to that, Space?
No, I don't really care about ground vehicles, to be honest.
And that sums it up. Right.
Except for the Ranger, I'm sure.
I need your score on the Nova and the Ranger.
The G12. I care about the G12.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
Screw it. I'll piss everybody off.
So the Nova tank, from the tankers that I talked to, and there are a lot of tankers that follow this game. Big issues like where you aim the tank is actually like below the barrel and stuff like that, and it's the opposite of the opposite of what it is in the real world and stuff like that. It's like they basically said they didn't even look at tanks; they just did what they thought a tank was. You know. So yeah, but basically tankers just say it's not a tank. I'll leave it at that's my short version of it. It's
a tank. It's just a poorly designed tank. The argument I've heard a lot of people say, well, tank is too big. It's like, that doesn't fucking matter. Like it's Star Citizen. There's going to be some size differences from what we have just because, but there are some problems like the depression, the way, how far down the gun goes doesn't make a lot of sense. The front slope doesn't make a lot of sense because it basically becomes a bullet trap where it will cycle all of the hits into the turret. They clearly looked at other tanks that existed and designed it based off of vibes, but that's the same problem with the Storm. It's like it's based off of vibes, not really functionality, and needs another overhaul. The Ranger is one of my favorite ground vehicles just because it's a fucking motorcycle, and motorcycles are cool. And every video game motorcycle is cool, which is why I'm surprised that Space Tomato says, "Oh, I don't care." It's like, don't you own a motorcycle? Aren't you like IRL a motorcyclist?
Yeah, I find I mean that's like people have asked I was going to do like engineering thermodynamics focused content for Star Citizen, but I'm not really interested in using my I don't know, man. I'm not. I love a motorcycle. It's really fun in real life, but in a game, a spaceship's so much more exciting.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's true.
Alrighty.
I think the RC is where it's at because it's the racing, and the TR is the combat version. So one has guns, and the CV is just okay.
The cargo variant, yeah. Kruger. So we've now got the Wolves and the Merlins. We'll have the Stingray later this year, though. So yeah. I'm just gonna give him a B. Yeah. God, Paul, stop copying on my scores. Ooh. Well, I'm gonna do fighting words on those two.
Well, I know why you have that, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I will start off with saying the P-52 is better than people think, but it's not that great. The P-72 is so much better than people realize because it has energy weapons rather than physical weapons. So it's like strapping 4 size 1s onto a ship like the Archimedes. You aren't getting hit, and you can at least do some damage to smaller ships, especially to their shields. So it becomes a really nimble interceptor fighter. So
Space just to talk about it. Can you imagine? You know how these were the first 2 snubs in the game?
Yes.
Can you imagine designing a snub carrier and they don't fit?
That'd probably not be a great idea.
No, it'd be like you don't know your own. It's like you don't know your own game, wouldn't it? Yeah, they don't fit properly. Neither they fit very weirdly. You've got to part them like a diagonal gnat, but they technically don't fit.
Well, yeah. I mean, how are you going to reuse the Raylan?
Or does that mean that they were redoing the Merlins?
No, I'm saying like, what else are you going to do if you want to reuse the ship to make a carrier than just say, oops, oh well, those old ships just won't fit. I don't know. They won't do it.
I don't think we've got to wait very long. We'll talk about them more when we get up to those two, but I think the variant that's coming, the Generalist, I think that's just going to be another Raelian variant. But we'll see. The Wolf. And my cough is starting to rear its ugly head. Right. This is just like the Guardian all over again. Why make the Wolf when you were going to make the Alpha Wolf? Money.
Yeah.
You know,
prototype.
It's just a different tale. and different, like you can literally see in the image, like it's just the back of it changes, but all the stats go up. So, you know, like you were saying, yeah, it feels like a prototype. You buy one at 90, then you bring out the next one at 100, and everyone just upgrades for $10. Why do all that work when you could just bring out the ship at $100?
Practice. And to get everybody pissed about the fin so you could come back and be like, look,
no fin.
this one doesn't have it.
Yeah.
No, I think they got completely caught off guard with the fin.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't realize that people weren't okay with the fin, and they were like, "Oh no!" And so they changed. They had a fin on the Alpha Wolf, and they changed it. They modeled it because it was like a couple of months, so they had a chance to model it away and be like, "Okay, so it's different." They basically had two versions of the same ship they wanted to sell, but it's so like interesting two models.
That they're like, well, the design is influenced by these planes, but then also we're going to include a boat feature.
Yeah.
So now we're moving on to the banner manufacturer, or as you can clearly see there on the screen, as CIG have called them, OCD.
Banner Sully.
Yeah. Or I love CD. I don't know. You can see it as a love heart, or I just think it's always funny. Like I see OCD every time I see it. But anyway, yeah, Banner Defender and Banner Meshman. We'll start with small one, and yeah, kind of with space on that one actually. I think I have to rate this one on its potential, not where it is right now, but we'll see.
I have to rate this one on how embarrassing it's been, unfortunately.
Yeah. It will never live up to the hype.
Yeah, I can see that too.
It is really quite pathetic what's happened with this ship. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily any one person's fault. It's been kind of unfortunate timing what's happened to this ship, and it's good. Don't get me wrong, it is good that we haven't received it yet. But the amount that this ship has been talked about and sold and focused on compared to the actual feasibility of it being in game is kind of egregious.
Just to be clear, we're talking about the Merchantman, aren't we? Because I did say Defender, but you're talking about the Merchantman, but that is totally fine. I'm just clarifying for the audience.
You meant somebody was about to defend the Merchant.
No, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good, bro. All right, keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm done now. I'm done seeing red. We could talk about the Defender if you'd like.
I mean, it's the Defender is the problem. So it is just not really a good fighter for what it's supposed to be.
It's meant to be a sniper. How the hell do you defend with a sniper? What game have you ever seen where the sniper is, you know, it's not the defenders are tanks. They're not snipers. So it's just a weird ship for what they call it and what its role is. Can I be honest, out of every ship I've ever seen in the game that needs a variant, that's it. That's it right there.
Yeah.
It needs like a Defender S for like a sniper, and then it needs like a Defender T for like a tank. I know it's got the phalanx shield, and that would be a really cool feature when, like, I can totally see the pilot and the co-pilot working in harmony to get the defense turret, like the shield moving around it. But again, that's just tech that's not in the game, and that's a problem with a lot of these ships. They all, like, especially everyone we've listed, like right back to the Tanner and stuff like that. We don't have flight models. We don't have, like, there's just pieces that are missing that make the ships look bad. But you can only judge a ship by what it is at the moment, can't you? So, yeah.
It looks cool. The Defender looks cool as hell.
Yeah,
but
it does.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say about the Defender other than that it's an average ship from my point of view. It's a 2-person ship, so that's kind of cool, but I don't like flying in it because I don't like being so far off to the side.
Yeah, that's never been an issue for me. You'd hate the Caterpillar then if that's the case.
I don't like it.
Yeah. As for the Banner Merchantman, for me, it's got a lot of potential, but it's just it's had a rough run from staffing issues, multiple reworks. It's been a long time coming, and there's no, as you guys said, it's never going to live up to the hype because it's just been out there for so long. 2013, it's never going to fulfill its promise because it's just taking far too long.
It's almost got that old ship syndrome.
Yep.
Where it's so old that it's when it comes out, but it's going to be like the Reclaimer or the Starfarer, where like it's already out of date and it hasn't even released yet.
Yep, that's it.
But it's cool, and there will be some aspects to it. I think it'll be a decent hauler for its size in terms of its cargo. But like the actual selling thing, we still don't know how that's going to work. So it's really hard to like completely base an opinion off of it. So it's like, B. So
it's completely changed from when I brought it. It was meant to be the best cargo ship in the game, and now it's not a cargo ship. It's a flying bazaar. So I brought it at its original $250 price, so I got it for really cheap. But
same.
Would I rather put $650 into this, or already owning a Kraken? Would I just want to get a privateer conversion kit?
Yeah.
So yeah. Origin, where are we starting on this one? I think we're going to do the G12 for space.
G12, yeah.
Take it away, Space, when you're ready.
Oh my lord. Shame. Shame on your cow and your family.
Shame on your whole family. Shame on your cow. Yeah.
Is that thing from Milan where he goes, the dog?
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I do realize I have to downgrade them now because the MTC exists. This was a great vehicle before the MTC. It's cyclone sized, but it has an atmosphere, so it was safe.
No, it's not. I have to correct you there. It's not cyclone sized. It's Ursa sized.
God dang it! Is this the one I always have the problem with?
It's slightly smaller than an Ursa, but it is the same width as an Ursa.
So basically, what's
the difference?
What you're getting is a fully enclosed vehicle like the Ursa, but faster with less people. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you give up everything for speed and luxury.
Well, it splits the difference between, so like it's got the cyclone abilities, but the comfort of an Ursa. That was its design. So.
And I think that's still a valuable thing, but the size difference is a key part of that. I think having that atmosphere is pretty crucial. And again, the MTC coming out definitely lowers that.
There'll be planets where the cyclone is useless, and that's where the G12 will get used. So if you're on a smog planet where you can't breathe or something like that, you're going to have to take a G12. Well, you can take a cyclone, but if your spacesuit gets ruined or damaged, then you're screwed. So most people take a G12. But yeah.
The problem I have with the G12 series is simply that I don't see where it exists in the game. I don't. There's just no reason to buy it right now or pick it up at all right now. Can't buy it in game because obviously not in the game yet. And why would you spend money on it when you can get a MTC or MDC and do similar things?
Yeah.
And you can actually get those in the game too. So.
I might just jump up real quickly and do the 85X. We should probably talk about this here, Paul. This is the last ship that needs a skin in the entire game.
Yes. Which is the reason why you, dear viewer, are going to vote for it for best in show this year. We have to give PD he relented and voted for the Gladiator last year. So
we're going to do this for him.
85X.
But we were always going to do it for him. It's the last ship that needs it.
And it's a really good ship. I'd argue that it's a fantastic ship for what it does because it is a snub fighter with a quantum drive that has two people, so you can hold two people side by side, and it's fast and maneuverable and tiny. It's
actually really good at combat too. I've seen a few people use it quite effectively, but it's still got the jump drive, so it's not a snub.
It's technically a snub because it comes with the 890 jump, but it's not a snub.
Again, these classifications that are Pisces. They're made up and they don't matter. Yeah, it's like the Pisces basically.
Yeah.
So yeah. We'll go down to the 100 series real quick. I do think the 135 is probably where it's at for me with this one. But I am not a big fan of this series. I'm just going to warn you now.
It's the price is a little off.
It was it was pushed in. You know, the 300i was there. They had to kind of fit it in. They wanted Origin to have another series of ships. Yeah, I just think they should have put it lower in price, bit the bullet and made it lower. But you know, money talks, does the walk, as they say. Space, feel free to weigh in there if you wish to, sir.
I'm a big fan. I mean, I like the 85X because it's like if passenger transport ever does take off, it's a really, really good little taxi ship, and it'll be great for transport. And so the 100 series kind of plays off of that for me as like a pretty nice compact package that is it's fancy, it gets the job you need it to done, and it also has its own onboard refinery, however they let that be a benefit. I do think that can help with range a lot. Yeah.
I was going to say, you know how they talk about having a passenger courtesy ship if you're, you know, that'll send you out to your ship to return it. That would be the ship I would use for that, the 85X. You could have an NPC sitting in as the driver, and you literally just as the passenger. That's how I would do that. I'd do it with an 85X. So yeah. Alrighty. We'll do the 300 series, and then we'll jump back up to the 400. So we'll do them in numbered order. So 300 series. Unless anyone wants to add. Paul, did you want to add anything about the 100, or have I?
Nope, already talked.
Cool. I would say this one is probably where. Yeah, I'm just deciding S or A. S. I really reserve S for stuff, but yeah.
My passion defense of the 315p is that I've always said it is a better Titan. That people will say the Titan's better, but it's like it just doesn't. The Titan doesn't have the speed, the maneuverability, or the cargo space.
It's a utility Titan, basically.
Yeah,
right.
It doesn't have as much firepower, but it does have that tractor beam, which you can use it for other things.
Yeah.
But it is so easy to take a 315p and turn it into a stealth ship. You can stealth the hell out of a 315p, where you're basically invisible. So if you need to get into a place, load or unload something very quickly and get out, the 315p is amazing. It is a smuggling ship that doesn't have a smuggling classification to it. So
you got double the cargo too. 12 SCU is nothing to snuff at. So yeah, it's where that series is at. Space, did you want to add to that at all? Or?
The 325 is actually what brought me into the game, so I got a soft spot for it. But
Funny enough, the 300i brought me into the game too all those years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not.
The 325A was mine
on it though.
It's fine.
What? Finish your. What is it? Your what?
That was my first ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we all started here.
Package is 325A.
Jeez.
It's shifted around a lot because of the other ships that have come in, especially the 100 series, and this one feels big for what it offers. The M80 feels like what I would expect the 325 to be.
Yeah,
true. I agree with you on that statement. It does make you think the 300i needs a rework. Nah, can't agree more there.
I'm gonna draw the M80. Hold on.
Oh yeah, all right. You draw the M80. We're gonna go up to the 400i real quick.
Jesus, that's huge.
Yeah, let me fix it.
I would have
just slightly bigger than the.
Where you drawing it? I would have just gone like this, matey.
It's a Dorito. It is a Dorito.
Perfect. Does it have any? You gotta have like little neon lights inside there.
Yeah.
Don't you have to have like a weird body though? Like it's got some kind of weird body shape to it. Like
it's a Dorito. It's a wedge. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so 400 series, boys, up top.
I don't mean no likey.
I'm looking forward to variants if they remember that ship's a series anytime soon. I will say of the bigger Origin ships is the most that actually looks like luxury. That bold statement. You might not like it personally, but that's how a lot of luxury ships are. They're bold and That's why I see bright yellow Lamborghinis and stuff like that, because people want to stand out and be noticed and flamboyant.
Bright yellow origin ships.
Beautiful. If no one's got anything to say about the 400i, we can move on to the bikes and the M50, and then we'll do the matey.
Trying to remember which one has the gun. I think it's the X1 Force, right?
Force has a gun. The X1 has a gun. The Velocity does not. Basically, it's a bit like the Razor and the Razor LX, except that it's combat, because you got the X1 and then you got the X1 Force with a shield. So it's the only vehicle that now has a shield. So it's a massive advantage. Again, it's where the X1 is at, is the Force. Use the Force, Luke.
Yep. It's decently handled too. Like, it handles pretty well.
Yeah. M50, I'll give a B. I think it's probably the ultimate A to B vehicle in the entire game. Fast 2-seater in a straight line. If you want to get from A to B with a jump drive, but do cheap and quick, that's the ship I'd be using, but predominantly built for racing. So yeah. Have we lost you? No, Space hasn't. Space has got to do that one. If you guys want to talk about any of these, the M50, yeah. Around in the corner, we don't have too many more to do now. And then
I'm trying to go through some of these.
Yeah. And then you can, if you want to do the last, we can just do 1 600. I don't have to do 3 of them. And the 890 jump.
Well, it's only 2, really, because there's a difference between the Explorer and the Touring, but yeah.
Man, I don't know what to do with the 600.
So it looks like
the Explorer is gonna be the one that has the medical bay, and the Touring's the one that has the
bar
cool
and
luxury stuff and more.
I thought you'd have an S on. I thought you'd have an S on the Touring, Paul, because you got the bar in it.
I have the Explorer.
Yeah. Well, you probably get both modules anyway. The matey is just another heavy fighter. Sadly, it's good heavy fighter.
It's fine,
but it's just another heavy fighter. 890 jump, overpriced chandelier. I think we kind of pretty close on that.
Yeah, if they made a ship for whatever this is going to be for now, it would be so much different.
Oh yeah, it clearly shows that it needs a rework. Sadly, and
why did they even put this in the game, man?
I don't know. And you can almost, if you go look and see how it's designed, is there's heaps of shit on the bottom floor, and it's like as they've worked up from level to level, they've got to the top where they get to the atrium, and they've realized the ship is full. It's almost like they built it from the bottom up, and then they get to this atrium that's meant to be really big and luxurious, and they've got no space. It's just a really crowded ship which makes it not luxurious. Because where it needs to be luxurious, there's meant to be space, but there's no space. So, funnily enough, however the Banner Merchman turns out, I think because that's also a luxury ship, by the way. And for you guys, I'm sure you've heard me and Agra talk about it before. There was originally a shopping mall variant of the 890 jump, and we believe that that's what the Merchantman's been turned into. It is essentially the Banner Merchantman is an 890 jump variant. So when that kind of gets done with its luxury and stuff like that, I'm expecting that if they ever go back and do a rework for the 890 jump, the lessons learned in that will transfer into that. So looking at the Merchantman will probably teach you a lot about the 890 jump potential rework, which it sadly now needs. Paul, do you want to talk about the 600i and Space? If you want to join in on anything, feel free.
The 600 is better than you think. It's actually pretty decent because it's got 3 size 5s on it, so it's actually a pretty hard hitter when it comes to fighting, and it's all pilot controlled. Yeah. Plus, it also has turrets that are controlled by the 2 co-pilots. And it has the most potential for doing really well It's got a long range. It's just its interior is a mess.
Yep.
But they know that they're trying to rework it. So.
Yep. Space, anything to add before we move on to the last?
I really like the 600i. I actually quite enjoy the way it looks. I wish that they would hide the weapons. I think this should be the ship that hides weapons when they're not being used.
I agree.
But overall, I love the look of it. I don't know how well it's going to work as an explorer, but it certainly looks nice for riding around in.
I've always thought it looks like some kind of animal offered up on a dinner plate because of the thing under its chin. It's got some kind of like dessert plate under its chin. I've always thought it's like a ship.
Shroud.
Yeah, it's like a ship sitting inside another ship. Yeah, like a shroud. Yeah. So it's a little weird.
I think with the rework, it's gonna be a great, like the fact that they're moving that cargo bay to be able to be big enough to fit like a Nova means you're gonna have a lot more utility with this thing too as an explorer.
All right, on to the last 4. We'll start. Oh, Paul's already just jumped ahead and done everything.
No, I didn't mean to.
Oh no, you've added a layer above. Then yeah, you needed.
Yeah, I put the wrong layer there. There we go.
Yeah,
now I've got
cool.
the right layer.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'll go first. Yeah. Why you guys do that? I'm gonna.
Let's kind of go through all of them real quick because then we'll go back to it and talk about them.
Oh boy, we starting from Argo.
Yeah. With Argo.
X, are you riding the Tylenol over there?
I am.
It's just a pile of poop.
Yep. I told you I was going to draw it. I'm drawing it. Right. Got to go back to my color. Right. Coming over to do these. We don't have a moth. I'm going to do the moth. There we go. There's the moth.
Yes, moth.
No, I did.
Are these modular?
They will be in the future.
We firmly believe they will be. Yeah. So yeah. Because it just makes no sense to have 3 ships like that. It's like the Atlas too. Like the Atlas is clearly going to be modular as well. It just don't make no sense. God, this. There we go. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. The mole.
Yep. Stable but good. Functionally,
no frills. You get what you paid for.
Yeah, but
you know
the whole 3 turret thing really pisses me off because you really need 3 people to crack it, but you don't ever really have 3 people to mine it because of the way you've got to have all these different attachments on the turrets. So people tend to only just have one turret that picks everything up, or one, so they have turrets for cracking and turrets for picking up. I really think it needs to be redesigned so you can utilize all 3 turrets at exactly the same time. Because I'd rather the modules don't go into the turrets, they go into the ship. You know what I mean? Because then everyone can use the turrets at the same time. Because it is not optimal to do all the turrets exactly the same way. And I think that's an oversight of how it's been designed. And unfortunately, you tend to spend a lot of time on that ship waiting for one person to do their job, so then you can do your job. That's the only negative I can give you about that ship. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to add on that one? On the mole?
No, I mean it's fine for what it does.
Yeah, I think it's a good multi-crew ship. It offers one of the better multi-crew experiences in the game right now. It's got its problems though.
Well, let's jump to the moth then, being its counterpoint with salvage, because we've all, besides space, given it lower points. So why didn't you give it a lower score, space?
Same reason. I think this is the smallest package that you can get a full multi-crew experience. In terms of salvage, you can have people on board who are focusing on fracturing and breaking, people who are scraping, people who are EVAing and getting components and bringing them on board and storing them in the back, just a all-around versatile salvage ship in a pretty decent size for 3 to 4 people that everybody on board has something to do. I don't think there are many ships in the game that offer that.
Okay. I'll just personally refer the Reclaimer for the price. Once you've already.
I mean, that thing's freaking huge.
Yeah,
but it holds more. It holds more in its buffer and has a lot more cargo to run around with. It's poorly designed, but it's really hard to go because it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Because a Reclaimer is like a 3-person salvager, and so is the Moth. Its size is smaller. That's all.
Yeah.
So
it's meant to be 5 people eventually, and it's going to get a rework eventually, and it'll be in the same league as the Moth and totally mog it. And again, the earn down economy, buy the bigger ship and just earn back to the Moth if you want a Moth as well. So,
but my argument is always I put a C because C is average, and so it's an average for what it's doing, and it's fine. Yeah. It's fine for what it does. Who gave a C to the SRV?
Me, because I think it's going to have a lot more use as the ship as the game goes on, especially once we get into NPCs and stuff like that, like moving Idrises in and bigger ships in and out of atmosphere. It is essentially the first level of repair. I can't believe there's no missions for it. Why haven't they made missions to just tow people back to star bases? They should have done that before they did the Starlight. Again, complete missed opportunities with certain ships, and that's just another one where they've completely dropped the ball. But yeah, like how hard is it to do a towing mission? Like with the missions we have, why isn't that a thing?
Yeah, it's sad we don't. Towing.
You could have literally had events where there's an SRV and it's dragging something and you're defending it, stuff like that. Like why wasn't that a thing? Like you got these escort missions. Why aren't we escorting an actual player in an SRV? That would have been sick. Not a thing. Just not a thing. So it's potential wasted. And again, I've flown it quite a few times. It's a ship that I brought in game, and I was like, why is no one using this thing? And I wanted to know why. And it has been left to linger, but I think it's got a lot left on the table. So yeah, I give it an extra point just because I think CIG fucked up, not the ship.
Yeah. The Raft is amazing.
Yeah.
The Raft is legitimately one of the best cargo haulers for its size. It's only dunked on by the Holby.
Yeah.
But that's it. And it's very small for its size too. You can fit it almost anywhere you can fit a medium-sized ship. So
what's a bigger version of a raft? So if you've got a raft, what would you call it? A houseboat or something? A barge. So they need to make the Argo barge. A bigger version of the raft, I think, would be very popular. And I think I think the rework on the raft was an happy accident because we all knew it was a sky crane. But then when they made it underslung like they did and then put a tractor beam on the back of it, it just happened to be perfect for those missions during those cargo missions last year, and it just took off. I don't think it was designed that way deliberately. I think it was just by a happy accident that worked out really well for them. Good timing, But my point is, why haven't they made another one or even talked about making another one? You know what I mean? So
I think it's that
Mr.
Argo has been floating around the company. This is the last I've seen. He's still at CIG though. So
yeah. Long story short, I think we need a bigger raft, and eventually, hopefully, in time, I hope we see one. So, yeah.
The NPUV is absolutely the GOAT. It is the king, the emperor of all Star Citizen ships. I don't care what anybody says. It is it won Best in Show, and it won the only Best in Show that mattered. And no other ships have won since then. All hail the emperor, our short orange emperor of Argo fame.
But a very very good utilitarian ship, and when they do eventually make it modular, it's
once the modules come out for it, or they make the modulars back, it's like slapping a cargo module onto the MPUV
Yeah.
tractor, you're done. Like it's
Yeah.
game over. Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing becomes insanely powerful.
This is what I mean about acronyms. CSVSM. Why don't you just call it the word fucking salad?
Yeah, I just put a question mark. I don't know what that.
It carries
truck.
It carries 4
It's the
SCU boxes. It carries 4 single.
The reason why it's called the SM is because the other one is the CSV
FM.
FM. Yeah, fabricator.
Yeah.
And SM is a service
they
module.
just wanted to make something else with the chassis.
Well, they should have called one AM and the other FM, and just dropped the whole CSV thing. Because AM is AM radio and FM is FM radio, and that would have worked.
Yep.
You know, and I'm sure they could have found a word that meant SM
or CSVT and CSVF for like transport and fabrication. That's all it is.
Yeah, or CSS and just CS and CF. Again, acronyms like this are just annoying. No one is ever going to call it the CSV SM.
No, it's the truck. Yeah, it's the Argo truck.
Fabricator, truck, and truck is what they'll end up being called because you didn't name them properly. And I'm sorry, nobody is going to use word salads. Like, there's a reason why Australians shorten everything, because it's easier. There is no way
everyone shortens things.
Yeah, but we're known for it. But like again, CSVSM is good luck, mate. Good luck. That's all I'm going to say to that. Good luck. Right. Anything else we want to add? Atlas, I guess.
Atlas is amazing.
Yeah.
It's still one of those best things you can use for cargo hauling.
Yeah. Looking forward to more Titan suits is I think I will say that. Space, anything to add on those before we move on from Argo?
No, I really like Argo's design, and I do hope we see more mid-level ships from them.
True.
Because they really, I think they have some of the most interesting interiors. I think the Raft is still one of my favorite interiors in a ship. Yeah,
they do have a unique design. And surprisingly, we don't really have anything, like, I know the Mole doesn't,
larger.
Mole and Moth don't feel too big, right? So I would like to see something, ironclad Polaris-sized from them eventually. Again, maybe that's the barge. So we'll see. Right, Apoa. Yeah, Jesus.
C's across the board. D's across the board.
D's across the board for me. Don't have their flight model is the main problem with these two. Right? So they need their flight model. Absolutely. What the hell? I opened my downloads there somehow. And the Nox is an urban bike. It just is going to be completely mogged by off-road because most of the planets are off-road. So the Dragonfly kicks its butt. So yeah, that's everything in short for me. Space, do you care to add to those at all?
No, I think that they really do suffer from not having their specific flight models. And if CIG does what's right, these things will dominate an atmosphere. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. I really worry about how much, with the way they've been changing the game up, how much they're going to like kind of shy away from flight being difficult with control surfaces and stuff.
True. Xperia. We got the
only thing that's missing is the Prowler Ute.
Oh, the utility? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Again, where I grabbed this from. I'll give that an A. The utility was a real surprise for me. And the more time has gone on, the more I can see that is going to be useful. It does also show you how they knew they overpriced the Prowler, though, doesn't it? When a rework ship gets a drastic price reduction like that as well. Stinger was a nice surprise when that came as well, but it is heavy fighter, and the heavy fighters are all suffering from that same problem in PvSP at the moment. The blade is basically a worse gladius.
Mm-hmm.
The prowler is worse than the utility, so that's why that goes down. And I've just never really liked the talon because it's essentially an arrow that's bigger that gets shot more.
Well, the Talon does recently got a glow up because it finally got the stealth that the Tavarn are supposed to be known for.
True.
So you can stealth out a Shrike and a Talon pretty easily. The Shrike is just all missiles is the issue, but the Talon is a little bit better.
Yeah. They are meant to have those two. So these two little struts here, right? These ones that go up here like this. They are actually meant to be like tentacles, and then eventually are going to like wiggle when you fly along. They don't do it right now, but
What?
yeah, apparently in the concept they talked about it that it's meant to like be like a tentacle or a tendril that kind of like jiggles behind the ship as it goes. So yeah, I guess we'll see it when they bring it in, if they ever get around to that. So yeah, anything you boys care to add on that one? We are rounding the corner. Only got these last two groups to go.
I got nothing really to say about Asperia's ships other than that I think they look great, but I really don't enjoy flying them too much.
Yeah, they are a bit expensive. Again, we're going into that rarity thing where I own something that nobody else owns type of thing. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can tell what I think about the Thule.
Yeah.
I was being generous by drawing it like that. But yeah, just probably being a bit unfair. No, I'm being a bit unfair. Hang on, wait. I'll put it up. One. It's just that it's not. It doesn't do all the snubs. It's not a proof of concept. Like it's snubs is just not a proven thing. And it's the Rule of Cool again. They designed something on Rule of Cool, and I don't know many people that brought one. Have you guys met a lot of people that brought them?
No.
No.
I will say it's not the snub thing that makes it cool. It's the gravity thing that makes it cool.
Yeah, true.
The snub thing just feels like a excuse for having the gravity the way they do.
The gravity is like, I'm not going to say it's a gimmick because I couldn't get the ships in there doing it any other way, but I mean, you could do it just as easily with like an elevator, like a little standstill elevator kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's going to wear off.
Yeah.
What really is going to make this ship matter is how well over time it actually acts as a carrier and how easy it is to use. And it looks like it is incredibly difficult to use as a carrier if you're moving.
Yep, it is.
Yep.
And the other thing I said is that gravity road thing is so narrow. Like it's really annoying if you've got multiple people in there to try and get to your ship properly because it's just a single lane. And yeah, it needed to be made wider. And the funny thing is, there's room there to make it wider, which they should have. Can't believe they haven't tested it properly. But again, it is what it is. Yeah, I think I have to agree with you boys on the Raelian. I know a lot of people that like it, but I think once the new shiny appeal wears off, I think it will. I have to kind of wait and see. It definitely completely mogs the Hercules though. For speed of loading, yes, you lose a little bit of cargo, but speed that you can do it is so much greatly increased. Yeah. Anything to add on the Raelian, boys? Before we get into the last ship?
Nah,
I
it's
think
just it's neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely less gimmicky than the Tylenol. I think this one has some benefits to it. The tractor beam placement's solid. The exterior cargo hauling is solid. It carries a pretty decent amount for its size and footprint. Even if it can't fit into a medium hangar, I do think it can fit on a footprint of a medium landing pad. So when they do Starkitect and they have all these different ground locations out there, if you have places that are officially limited by their landing pad size, maybe this thing could get ahead. But I don't know. Either way, it lands in an interesting spot. It has some benefits, but it still has some design oversights and some weird bits and pieces in there.
Right. Last but not least, The Sulian.
Sulian. It's a unique ship. It's unique. Its gimmick is still not worn off for what it is, but I don't think it's a good starter ship. It's just a neat starter ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some people that, like, new people that came into the game that really, really liked this when it came in. I just think for those of us that have been in the game for a long time, it's a bit weird in how it flies and takes off and stuff like that. So, yeah. Gonna be acquired taste. But my friends that came in that were first person shooter people, they took to it like a fish to water, because it was just really natural them to WSAD and fly forward, rather than this takeoff vertical thing. They just found it easier to fly straight out of the hangar and stuff like that. So, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I don't like the way that you take off or fly with it.
Yeah.
That's mainly it for me.
All right then. Well, that's been everything. Thank you, Space and Paul, for joining me. It's really good.
Yeah.
Just the three of us. It was almost.
It gets rough when we gotta do several hours. Your brain kind of starts melting because all the ships run together. But it's always
So
fun to
many
do
ships.
these.
It was almost romantic being with the two of you. It was like a little threesome for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Well,
Glad
it's
to have
taken
this YouTube threesome with you, man.
It's almost 3 hours again, but it was only three of us. So if we'd every person we'd added, it probably added an extra half an hour. So we got it through it a little quicker than usual. What would you guys like to hear from people below in the comments? Start with you, Space, if you want.
I want to hear what they think the most important thing to ships are for them. It's all subjective. We aren't going off of any sort of scoreboard here. I don't think anybody should come away from this expecting that any of us are right or wrong. We're all giving opinions, and I'd like to hear what everybody is watching, what they value most. Some people it's the price, some people it's the vibe, some people the looks.
Yeah.
And that's always interesting to me.
Same question for you, Paul.
I'd like to hear what people want to see that hasn't been made yet. Like what new ships they think the verse needs, and also what ships need to get. Like how do ships need to change going forward when we're doing with where Star Citizen going when it's moving towards 1.0? What are ships that need to be rethought by CIG?
Similar to what I was going to ask, and just like, are you worried about any ships that are kind of just being left by the wayside? And you can kind of see the maintenance burn or tech debt, I guess you could call it, in a way that they've put on themselves with a lot of these ships that they're going to have to go back and rework. Yeah, I'd just like to get your guys' thoughts on that. Space, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Space Tomato Gaming on YouTube. Space Tomato 2 is also where I tend to put more of my regular kind of actual content out there. Space Tomato Gaming is more kind of
it's where you go for the
documentary style.
It's where you go for the nudes. Space Tomato 2 for nudes. So
yeah, the toes.
Move yourself. Move yourself. That's what I heard. The toe shots. Yeah.
And then we've got
go ahead.
Space Tomato plays for gameplay on YouTube, and then I stream on Twitch.
Yeah. Same for you, Paul.
Find me on twitch.tv/TheAstroPub, youtube.com/TheAstroPub live. And if you want to, see the lore content that I do, you can find me at youtube.com/TheAstroHistorian.
I swear you were going to say, and if you want to see me nude, sorry, my brain goes places. All right. With that, then, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and thank you to everyone that went the extra mile on Patreon at the end of the video. The voices in the void today have been Space Tomato and TheAstroPub, or Paul. I don't know what to call him at this point. He's been around so long. I've been Execute, and we'll see you guys next time. You can say it for me if you want, Paul.
We're going to say, we've been the voices in the void.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
We were voices.
All right. See you, citizens. Say goodbye, boys.
Bye, boys.
Bye. Boys.
I'll take you guys anywhere nice, can I?